Hello, everyone, and welcome back for the last time this year. We are here with the final matchup of the tournament, the Grand Finals, the matchup that everyone has been waiting for. It is once again, as in the Winners Finals, as in Grand Finals, Whispering Almond versus Goofy Lil Jits. The two super teams formed at the start of the tournament to win it all, meeting once again here in the Grand Finals. Both of these teams with players who have played against each other many, many times before, who are extremely well known across both the tournament scene and the OS community in general. It is sure to be a very, very fun matchup to watch between some of the best players in the world. My name is Dio, and I'm going to be here casting this grand final for the Corsace Open 2022 alongside my good man, Demarsh.
Yeah, what's going on, man? I mean, just look at these two teams. You look at the rosters and you think these are two super teams. Bartek, I'm a fancy lad, Utami, Badu, Emmerich, Rectagon, Lucaron, I butchered that one. Mashore up against Fire Edge, Emmerich, Whitecat, Reedcat, Zootinator, Henry, Krilla, and Sawada. What a lineup on both sides. Where do you want to start, Dio?
Well, we saw already yesterday Goofy play this map pool and up against the third place team here. They had a pretty good time of it. They went 7-2, outperforming, I think, most of the expectations in that matchup and putting up some very, very solid scores, beating on some maps where you might not usually expect them to. Things like the finger control in No Mod 6, things like the Hidden 3, where the had some very, very good hidden stream players. Really, the only place that they weren't able to take the points was speed, and that was where the was actually stronger than either of these two teams. Probably the best speed team in the tournament, pretty much had never lost any speed points throughout the entire way of the tournament. So I think for Goofy, you have, from yesterday, a lot of confidence going into this matchup, given the fact that you did win so relatively one-sidedly yesterday. Had a lot of really, really solid scores from some crazy players. In particular, 850k from Kriller on No Mod 3, I think gives a big confidence boost to this team, considering that's one of the maps in Winners Finals, which they won on a knife's edge, just barely winning the pick. I think it was 30,000 points or something they won by on the No Mod 3 in Winners Finals. No, not even 21,000 points. Or no, 30,000 points. Yeah. So that type of performance in Losers Grand Finals should bring a lot of confidence to this roster that previously has had some issues with confidence as well. Noting that they have had a couple of players come out and say, hey, we're not expecting to win some of these matches, either in private conversation or in public. So for them to get that sort of confidence boost from a very, very solid performance yesterday, I think should help them a lot in this matchup.
Yeah, and I think as well, like, especially with this Goofy team, you're looking at players like Krilla, who they had such a good performance yesterday that, if they can bring that same level of expectation to this match, you're looking at a really quite scary time on some of these maps. You already mentioned some of the big scores, but you've got players like, of course, Whitecat once again coming in with the 952 on Crimson Emperor. Just absolutely crazy stuff. They have got the players in this roster to go absolutely nuts on certain maps, but it's really whether they can bring those team scores together on the day that I think is going to decide this. Because if we look over at Whispering Almond, you see the sorts of players that always play together are just ridiculously strong, really good team scores on Whispering Almond. They may not be known for individual players who normally just have a pop-off insane score, but this team could just put up some incredible overall scores, and that is why they are so strong in this tournament.
Exactly, and I think that team is helped a lot by the fact that probably the two best 1v1 tournament players in the game right now are on their roster, right? You have Utami and Malashevsky, formerly known as Disco Marek, on the same team right now. And these two players are pretty much the best 1v1 tournament players in the world. They can go in on pretty much any map and have a really solid score on it. And where they do find a little bit of discomfort for both of them, I think that tends to be either the hard rock for Utami or the double time for Malashevsky. You have a lot of other players on this roster who can come in. Majora, in fact, can fill both of those niches. Very good speed player, very good hard rock player as well. Rectagon for the hard rock on the side of Whispering Almond as well. And then you have, so many people on speed that Malashevsky is just an option that they have available on that type of skill set. So not only do you have two ridiculously strong 1v1 tournament players on this team who can go in for basically anything and who scale past this stage into, some of the highest star rating pools that the tournament community has come out with ever, 8.5 star plus no mod 1 type of pools. This pool does not reach that sort of star rating. It only caps out at just under 8 stars normally, about 8.3 stars on the tiebreaker. So you're not seeing the same types of skill cap challenges here in a 4v4 grand finals as you do in a 1v1 grand finals typically, which means that players like Utami and Malashevsky are not going to be skill capped at all on this sort of pool. They're going to be able to continue to be consistent even in the grand finals. So I think those two players in particular help out Whispering Almond's consistency a lot. That said, Damaris, I don't know how much you followed the winners finals, but one fun fact about Goofy is that throughout the entire tournament, Emrek has not played a single map. Not one. He has literally not been here for any match so far, but he is finally here for this matchup for the grand finals. And the fact that this team was able to make it to grand finals without Emrek speaks a lot to just how strong of a team they actually are. Even going 7-5 up against Whispering Almond in the winners finals without Emrek. So this could go either way depending on how prepared both of these teams are now that we have full rosters for both of them. I mean, it's game time. It's grand finals. It's the last matchup. If you don't have your full roster for this match, what are you doing?
Rowing.
Yeah, true.
But no, yeah, Emrek coming onto the team or, playing with the roster is really going to help out Goofia. It's actually insane. He is so good at so many skill sets. He will balance out that, like you mentioned, Utami and
Malashevsky, Disco
Malashevsky, yes. Disco Marek, yes. Name changes, they just mess with me, all right? It's not perfect, but it works. But yeah, he will help balance out that, those strong players who are just good at 1v1s, because Emrek is also an incredible 1v1 tournament player. I don't even know when his last defeat was in a 1v1 situation. But he is definitely going to massively help balance out these rosters, and it should be a very interesting match. It's going to come down to things like how prepared each team is, like you said. How prepared is each of these teams to tackle each map? And Whispering Almond, let's be honest, they have the advantage in the first set, being that they have seen what Goofy can play and what they can't play. But whether Emrek throws a spanner in the works and changes all that, it depends how well they've prepared.
Yeah, there's a couple of things for both of these teams that we talked about during the pre-show podcast a while back as well at the start of the weekend. On Friday, we noted, Whispering Almond, Bartek had said, yeah, maybe they were a little bit overconfident going into the winners finals. So I think they're going to shorten up any of the potential weaknesses that they have. Like you said, they have an advantage in the first set, right? They don't have to worry about losing the tournament if they lose this first best of 13. So they can be a little bit experimental with some of their picks. They don't have to pick exactly the right maps every single time. They can sort of feel out what Goofy is good at, what they're bad at, take that information into the bracket reset, and win from there using some extra info that Goofy doesn't really have the, they don't have the ability to do that sort of thing. They don't have the extra wiggle room to sort of feel out their opponent. They have to win, and they have to win twice. So if they're going to do that, they need to be decisive on their picks. Their picks need to be correct when they go for them, and there's a lot more pressure on Goofy to perform because they have to be twice as good as Whispering Almond. They've got to win twice in a row. So whether that's in close matches or in stomps, it doesn't matter, but you're going to have to perform really well to pull something like that off, both mentally and mechanically in the game. You know, the mental preparation does matter a lot for a matchup like this, where you have players who have faced off against each other or with each other for a long time, once again going up against each other here in another grand finals.
Yeah, and I think the other danger as well is that these are both teams that have got such strong players. If there is a weakness in any one of these players on either side of the team, I would not expect the opposing team to try and take advantage and target maps that would force a player out when they're, maybe they're having an off day. You don't want it to happen on grand finals, which is right now. So if any of these players are not having a good day, let's say, for example, Krilla is having an awful day. Any maps that Krilla is particularly strong on, they may want to take advantage of because they have the depth of the roster to go, well, we can play any map. So let's pick something that our opponents are not having a good time on because one of their star players is having a rough day. And that is critical if teams can take advantage of that.
Same, of course, goes for Goofy. If any of the star players for Whispering Almond are having an off day, they should be able to pounce on that as well. But you mentioned some of the weaknesses for either of these teams. I do want to talk about that a little bit because the stats on the Corsace algorithm look fairly one-sided at the moment, but that doesn't really reflect how these teams previously played against each other. Again, Winners Finals was a 7-5. It was a close match. These teams were neck and neck with each other. It was a dominant start to the matchup for Whispering Almond, followed by a 5-3 back half of the match for Goofy. So a 4-0 start for Whispering Almond for a 7-5 comeback. Not quite making it all the way there, but doing quite a lot to try to get there for Goofy. And a lot of the way that they got there was off of aim picks. So many of the wins for Whispering Almond were off of one of two things, either speed and stamina, or reading, low approach rate reading in particular. So I think we're going to see similar sorts of pick patterns here, especially in bracket reset. Again, Whispering Almond, maybe going towards some of the more experimental picks, trying something new here in the grand finals, picking into maps that they might not have usually picked into, especially with that data from the losers grand finals yesterday, where Goofy had to play 9 maps against and give over ban information. So a lot to think about for Whispering Almond and a lot to prepare for Goofy. When those maps were close, like Nomad 3 and Nomad 4, they were still able to come out on top, but you have to shore up some of those sorts of coin flip maps. Win by 30k on Nomad 3, the win by 60k on Nomad 4, those are too close for comfort. And luckily for Goofy, we saw yesterday just how good they were on something like the Nomad 3. We saw how good they were on things like Nomad 1 in the Winners Finals as well. So you fully expect them to take advantage of their strengths in this matchup and use that to force the bracket reset and hopefully win against Whispering Almond. Let's get started.
Let's get onto it. So we have the grand finals pick and ban. We have protections, we have bans, and then we have maps. Looking at the previous matchup between these two, we had Whispering Almond going in for the Hidden 2 last week, which was Garden of Eden. And we had Goofy going in with Hard Rock 3, which was red and blue and green. Do you see any chance of those being somewhat similar again? Or do you think it's going to be a new match, it's a new day, there are going to be new protections?
It's hard to tell. When you have a matchup like this where both of the teams are so familiar with each other, when both of them know each other very well, you can sometimes get protects and bans that seem a little bit out of place. because of the fact that they might know each other better than we do. That said, I think you're looking probably towards some similar protects from Goofy. I think given the bans from Whispering Almond last time around in Winners Finals, where they were able to ban out the Hard Rock 1 and keep a lot of aim maps closed off from Goofy, you're probably looking at an aim protect. I don't know whether that's the Nomad 1 or the Hard Rock 1 here for Goofy, but I would be surprised to see either of those maps not get protected, or one of them not get protected by Goofy.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Very interesting, because of course they with the protection that they chose yesterday. If there are people here who didn't see that match, it was that Nomad 4, wasn't it, that they protected and they used to clutch against the yesterday. So whether we see any more of that is well, it's up to them, I suppose, but curious to see what the protection is. It Whispering Almond, I believe, do they have the first protection? Do they have the first choice of protection?
It'll depend on the roles, and we'll see which team is picking first, banning first, as soon as we do get those roles in from either of these teams, and one of them comes through. Hopefully we'll be able to get that soon. I think for Whispering Almond's side, they have a couple of options for what they want to protect. Same for Goofy. We could see them go back to a Nomad 4 or to a Tech Hard Rock pick. I think the weakest mod from Whispering Almond is probably that Hard Rock, but that's not saying a lot given that you have players like Rectagon, Majora, I'm a Fancy Lad, also, Malashevsky, Badu still on the team, right? There's not really a weak mod there, but a lot of their star players really aren't fans of the Hard Rock. Utami in particular, not a big fan of the Hard Rock. Fancy Lad, not a huge fan of Hard Rock. So you have a couple of players who will want to sit out. Taquito as well, not a big fan of Hard Rock only. So they definitely prefer the free mod or the hidden to something like the Hard Rock, despite still being very good at it. Whereas on the side of Goofy, you have a lot of really good Hard Rock players who are completely fine going Hard Rock only over hidden Hard Rock, including Zudinator, who, despite being a hidden one trick, is actually still very, very good on Hard Rock only, especially in tournaments. So I think it wouldn't be too surprising to see a Hard Rock protect from Goofy, regardless of what type of Hard Rock it is, even if it's not specifically an aim map. And for Whispering Almond, again, you're looking at probably speed or reading. So either a low approach rate map or a speed map. I don't know that they want to protect the Nomad 6, given the scores from Goofy on it yesterday. They were able to win that map up against The in the Losers Grand Finals. And The has a Koro on their team, so they were able to out-carry a Koro and win the map anyway. So maybe not the best protect if you are looking at those scores, and potentially something that you want to let Goofy pick if you do have better scores anyway.
Yeah, I think so, and we do actually have a bit more information now, so it's Whispering Almond with the protection up first. So I'm curious. I'm really curious to see what they're going to go for on this Grand Finals pool, because again, Whispering Almond, they are in a way the unknown, the only scores we have not seen this weekend. So we have no idea how they've adapted to this pool specifically. I mean, like you say, we'll have rough estimations of their competitive lineup and what we expect them to do. But as you know, teams do what they want.
Yeah. Predict all you want, but sometimes you're just not going to be able to figure out what they do until it finally happens, right? So we'll see what they actually want to go for from the side of Whispering Almond. For now, we're waiting on that first protect. I'm thinking either the Hidden 2 or the... Oh, yep. Okay, there we go. Well, Hidden 2. All right. They were... this is for a very good reason, by the way. Scores from the finals weekend on that Hidden 2. And they are still 600k up over the next best score. The setting about 2.5 million. Whispering Almond setting about 3.2 million on the map. And Goofy setting about 2 million flat, so an over 1 million team score difference. That's not RNG. That is not, luck of the draw there. That is difference in team skill. So we are going to get a very dominant pick in that hidden 2 out of Whispering Almond at some point in this matchup. Extremely good low AR reading team. And, to be expected when you look at the roster, players like Utami, Badu, Malashevsky, I'm a Fancy Lad, Bartek, Taquito. I mean, you have 6 players right there who you would be extremely scared of on any low approach rate map. The free mod 2 protect from the side of Goofy, I do think is a little bit interesting, as that map kind of falls into the aim category like we were talking about, but not necessarily the exact same.
Yeah, I mean, I just think those free mods are proving to be one of Goofy's strongest skill sets, especially on this grand finals pool. I mean, we saw Crimson Emperor, where Whitecat absolutely obliterated the lobby, and 2.1 million team score. They've probably felt like they underperformed, that Whitecat kind of carried that. I definitely feel like on their free mods they have the potential to maybe not quite push the 3 million team scores, but definitely get deep into sort of the late 2 million, 2.8 million, 2.7, and really put some pressure on Whispering Almond to pull up those hard rock players and try and put the pressure on. First ban coming in as well, no mod 1. Disappointing.
Expected, though. Expected if you are going to... Oh, by the way, the Protect and Ban were swapped from Goofy because they accidentally either we got the graphics wrong or they protected the wrong map. But it is a Hard Rock 1 protect for Goofy rather than the Free Mod 2. Free Mod 2 banned out. I was a little bit confused by that. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I mean, this is like alt finger control, really tricky sorts of stuff from Angel's Ladder by Psy. So, you don't really want to pick that into Whispering Almond, I don't think, given how good some of their hard rock finger control players are, and the fact that they have, people like Utami on the team and Malashevsky who are just going to dominate on that sort of map. Compare the two, like, quote unquote star players for each team, right? Who do you want on a Rhythm Hell alt aim control finger control style map? Utami Malashevsky or Whitecat Emrek? I want Whitecat Emrek on a lot of the mechanics picks. I don't want them on a lot of these gimmicky picks. So I think that ban works pretty well for Goofy overall. Of course, we already talked incredible aim team. You look at the No Mod 1 scores from winners finals, and it's the exact opposite as what we saw on the Hidden 2. Near a million team score difference for Goofy on No Mod 1 in finals. So very stellar ban for Whispering Almond after a Hard Rock 1 protect from Goofy, which makes a lot of sense. Hidden 3, the first picked here, also very good for Goofy. We saw them win this pick by over 800,000 in the winners finals, but this is a bit of a different type of map. This one, a lot more finger control focused, very technically focused as well. Lots of cut streams in this map, and at a relatively high 210 BPM, or something like a Hidden 3. This is a very difficult map to be consistent on, but you can say the same about a lot of the maps in this pool. Just incredibly tricky stuff, but this team for Goofy has been very good at these Hidden 3s, these flow aim, tech stream hiddens all throughout the tournament.
Yeah, should be very interesting to see how Whispering Almond are going to respond to this. What lineup are they going to pull forward here? But just to give people a bit of information, we're going to be playing the first 4 maps completely uninterrupted. We'll be alternating, and then of course the winner of that last map will get to have the ban order. So we do have a bit of time, and then of course we just hit map after map after map after we get through that second ban phase, until we either have a winner or a bracket reset.
And just a small correction. It is the team who is ahead who bans first. Ever so slight strategic advantage to the team who is behind in the match at that point. Very similar.
Yeah.
And if they are tied up, the team who won the last map does ban first as well. So you're not entirely wrong there, but small correction as we jump into our first map of the Grand Finals. It's time! Grand Finals is here. Goofy from the losers bracket needing to win twice in a row. On their first pick, we have Henry, Kriller, Whitecat, and Emrek. For the first time, his first map of the Grand Finals as well. Already a break from Rectagon, who you wouldn't normally expect to see in on a hidden pick. I'm a Fancy Lad, Utami, and Melishevsky all in on this as well, with Fancy and Utami already having broken in kind with Rectagon. Kriller as well, dropping the FC pretty early here for Goofy, but far more frequent breaks coming out of Whispering Almond, and only Whitecat and Kriller, the two German tournament players, dropping for Goofy. Melishevsky gone as well. It's Henry and Emrek, the only two FCs remaining already. We're halfway through the map almost. Henry does find the drop. Emrek drops as well, but look at the score lead. It's 300k nearly for Goofy, despite a little bit of combo built up for some of the members of Whispering Almond.
Yeah, we do finally see the break from Emrek, but he has done more than enough so far. Over halfway through the map. The bigger combos, though, they're on Whispering Almond, but they're going to need one hell of a recovery to get back into this one. We see Whitecat and Henry with a bit of combo to kind of nullify these Whispering Almond, but they do have the advantage. The question is, can they take it through with the combos? Let's see. They all need to hold. Utami and Fancy Lad going to be finding the first breaks, though. And Melishevsky also finding a break, so that's 3 down for Whispering Almond. Up against just a 1 there from Emrek, who's struggling to recover. Kriller will go as well, but Henry, look at this play alongside Whitecat, just absolutely destroying the second half of this map. Henry going to hold on to the end?
Not going to be able to hold till the end, but it's not going to matter. Nearly 600k score difference for Goofy. Hell of a first pick for them there. 600k for Henry, not quite the FC, but damn good score regardless. 515k for Whitecat, still ahead of Melishevsky on that map. And well, the rest of the team for Whispering Almond just not able to keep up. About 300k average for all the rest of the members compared to, mid 400ks for the other players on Goofy. And that is a very, very solid first pick for them. You're looking at a team who has picked that sort of map all throughout the tournament and has well, said, yeah, let's pick it again. Let's go once again onto the hidden 3 here.
When it is 100% win rate for them so far, you can't expect them to want to make any changes now. And that is a potentially very dangerous map for them if they get this bracket reset. It's something to consider, is that's what they're pushing for. They'll push for this bracket reset. Hopefully be able to, rely on that map again in the second set. But DT2 coming up for Whispering Almond here. Crazy hot.
Yeah, this is a map that was played yesterday by Goofy and The. And this was a win for The by about 800,000 score. Goofy only got about 1.6 million on this map. But again, missing Emrek. They had in Sawada, Henry, Whitecat, and Reedcat for this map. And Reedcat is a very, very good player, but he is not a Grand Finals tier speed player. He has improved his speed quite a bit, but I don't think he's usually who you would want in on Grand Finals DT2, right? So this is probably a map where Emrek subs in and does help the overall score for Goofy. That said, this is still going to be a Whispering Almond favorite pick. There's a reason this is their first pick, and you can see it in those middle 3 stats. Speed, stamina, finger control, all extremely good for this team. And, well, this is pretty speed-focused. You're getting a, quite literally, satellite DT. Satellite Toho DT, 243 BPM, AR10, OD10, and really focused on both long bursts and finger control in between. Just so difficult to be good on if you are not prepared and warmed up for this sort of thing, and if you don't have the raw speed for it, which, we've been harping on it all morning long, or I guess all afternoon long for most people. Whispering Almond's a very good speed team, and Goofy has not been the same. It's been the exact opposite for these two teams.
Oh, and even bringing Emrek onto the team for this, you know, there is still a massive score deficit that they have to overcome. With that, with Emrek onto the lineup, you know, you're looking at Whitecat, who only got 300k on it. It's got to improve that on this play to make up the difference. So, into this, looks like everybody is holding combos so far. Early breaks. We're going to be looking for that first one to really shake things up. It's going to be Whitecat who drops for Goofy. Good news for Whispering Almond, their first pick. It's theirs to lose at this stage with all 4 combos still holding. Over a quarter of the way in so far. So, looking at this, it's just that one break from Whitecat. All 3 members of Goofy still holding on to their full combos, though. They need those to hold, especially at this halfway point. Very crucial. Any break here could massively flip things. Joy looking a little bit shaky there, but manages to hold on through. Malajeski goes, though, as alongside Rectagon. And Whitecat once again breaks, but that's not the big combo. For Goofy, it's Malajeski and Rectagon going, but there goes Sawada. It's 2 full combos. No, there goes Majora. It's Utami up against Henry.
And what is this? What is this overperformance from Goofy right now? Emrek and Henry are just popping off, but even then, Sawada is close to matching his score from yesterday already. Henry does find the drop. It's Utami and Emrek holding FCs here. They're the only 2 remaining scores. You have matching supporting combos on the 3 remaining members as well. This is neck and neck for these 2 teams. Goofy already 300, 400k up on their score from yesterday and continuing to pop off. Majora with the miss is going to give a slight edge over to Goofy here on this map. But Henry actually matches the miss. It's a traded miss again as we get into the last quarter of the map. Whitecat does drop. That is combo lead over to Whispering Almond. Will we see a return miss from any of their players? There's a little bit of a score lead. More misses for Whitecat, however, could end up making the difference here. Majora is going to drop again. But that's not the player that you really need to miss. You want to see a Rectagon or Malashevsky drop here. As long as Emrek holds, they might be able to win this overall. It's Utami. Utami misses! Utami drops, and Goofy is actually going to take the breakpoint. This absolutely insane overperformance from Goofy on the first pick from Whispering Almond. Look at these scores for them, DeMarsh. Nobody on their team got above 600k the last time they played this. It is now 3 members above 700k. The FC from Emrek, they nearly double their team score from yesterday, going from 1.6 million team score against the to over 3 million team score. Absolutely insane overperformance here on the double time too, as yesterday they were not looking good on this pick at all, but they come out guns a-blazing in grand finals.
I think that is probably one of the biggest baits I have ever seen in tournament history. They completely threw that map yesterday, and honest to God, who saw that coming?
I don't think
from this team
did.
Who saw that coming?
Oh my God,
3 million. Oh,
that's the biggest mind game. That's the biggest mind game I've ever seen. You just completely throw in the losers finals on a couple of maps to bait. You throw on speed the entire tournament to bait the other team in grands into thinking you suck at it, and then you beat them with the best score of the weekend so far. Like, just hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Well, that throws a wrench in things. Double Time 2 lost for Whispering Almond. Do they want to pick the Nomad 5 now? Who knows? because these teams are both firing on all cylinders right now, it looks like. And Goofy, just a little bit more horsepower at the moment, pulling out ahead early on. I guess a little torque, if I want to make that comparison. A little bit more torque, pulling out ahead early on. 2-0 start for them, and the Hidden One to be picked. It's a Falcom Sound team, Hidden One, mapped by Deca. I mean, you kind of know what you're getting with this map. A lot of awkward aim. A lot of awkward aim at alti BPMs.
I mean, the beauty of that DT2 is that they can just coast through some of these map picks. You know, especially before the second ban phase, they've got this map. It should be, you know, straight up, straight down. It should be very, very simple to get through this. It should be another day at the office, really, for Goofy at this stage, because on that DT2 performance alone, just wow, I'm still in shock. Explain the map, dear. I'm in shock.
It's... Anybody remember the Azure Arbitrator by Jonathan LFJ? It's that map, but shorter, basically. Like, that's the map. That's the whole map. Deca and LFJ have relatively similar ways of mapping Falcom Sound team, and this map is no exception to that rule. Lots of wide-angle jumps, lots, not too much polygonal stuff, but a lot of really, really slightly off-kilter jumps that just make you think, man, that really should have been somewhere else. Like, I shouldn't have missed there, but it is supposed to be uncomfortable. It is supposed to not feel quite right when you're playing it, and Deca does a very good job of making those sorts of maps here. Error 9.8 for a little bit of comfort on the approach rate, so it really does end up being a pretty good test of mechanics and awkward aim in particular, and there are a lot of very, very good aim players on the side of Goofy, particularly awkward aim and aim control players for something like this, which is very high BPM, 256 BPM, alt BPM, if you will. Zudi, Kriller, Whitecat, and Emrek in for this map. Utami, Fancy, Malashevsky, and Badu in for Whispering Almond.
Yeah, and there's certain members of Whispering Almond who have definitely played that the sort of Falcon Sound team LFJ sort of mapping in a tournament of this caliber, you know, this sort of stage, grand finals. You know, Fancy Lad in particular is very, very accustomed to this sort of map of difficulty. Then again, he is the first one to break.
Couple of early breaks here for Fancy Lad. We are only in the first quarter of the map, so it may not end up mattering much. Still a lot of other places for anybody to find drops on this map, but everybody else looking really comfortable. There is one slider break for Emrek, so it is a matched miss for Fancy, as Emrek drops right afterwards. Zudi as well going to find the drop for Goofy, and suddenly it looks a little bit tenuous here for Goofy. Whispering Almond going to take the score lead relatively soon here. Again, we are still in the first third of the map, but we're closing in on that halfway point. A traded miss for Utami. Malashevsky also drops. It's now 2 full combos to 1 in the favor of Goofy. Combo lead back over to them, and supporting combo lead as well on Emrek and Zudi compared to Utami, Fancy, Malashevsky. So it's only Badu right now left to stand against quite a lot of high combos for Goofy.
Badu on 256 BPM. Is he going to be able to hold this all the way through? Very good sort of burst player, but not really. If there's any form of streams in this, it will break his combo.
Luckily for him, there's not, I don't think. So he should be pretty good. He should be okay. Yeah. However, you know, Whitecat, Kriller are both pretty good on aim as well, particularly hitting awkward aim for Kriller. But Whitecat won the aim show match with Badu in second place. So if you're banking on Badu to out-aim Whitecat, I got some bad news for you. It's basically coin flip who ends up outperforming the other, and there goes any good news for Whispering Almond. Whitecat does miss right afterwards. Like I said, coin flip who ends up outperforming the other, but Kriller is right at home on this sort of map. These ever so slightly uncomfortable jumps that just force so much aim control out of the player, paired with that hidden mod, something that he loves to put on all different types of maps. Kriller just looking like the beast he was yesterday, performing like a monster on the weekend here.
He is. Kriller is one of the most dangerous players on Goofy. He is just so deadly at these higher star rating stuff. It's ridiculous, and Fancy is just not having a good time of this map at all. Just not able to build a combo at all. Just cannot get anywhere, and that's really hurting his team here. Malajewski is building him a nice combo. Kriller did finally find the break, but the damage is done. I don't see a way for Whispering Almond back into this.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this one's over. Malashevsky and Utami, true to the hype that we brought to them before the start of the match, do have pretty good combos going into the ending here, despite the miss from Badu. But not going to matter. 400,000 score lead for Goofy and White Cat. Well, he had a good recovered combo, but no longer, unfortunately. It is still going to be the win for Goofy here. A 3-0 start in the Grand Finals. Much the opposite of how that Winners Finals went last weekend between these two teams. Whispering Almond in the Winners Finals coming out to a 4-0 start. But here in the Grand Finals, where everything is on the line, Goofy with the 3-0 start. That said, I mean, if you're Whispering Almond, you're still pretty happy to be in this position. You have bracket reset after this. And Demarsh, I want to bring something up because I don't think we've talked about it yet on broadcast. But one of the players for Whispering Almond seems to maybe not be here at the moment. Anybody familiar with Taquito Church? Taquito on the west coast of the United States, perhaps at church at the moment, religious family, and not able to be here. So he is probably here for bracket reset, which makes that bracket reset all the more difficult for Goofy to try and win. Because right now, if you are Whispering Almond and your opponents pick Hidden 3 and Hidden 1, do you not want Taquito playing those? Right? Do you not want Taquito playing those? I think he may actually be missing. For now. He will probably be here at some point during the match. Maybe he's here. I don't know. They just picked No Mod 6. That's a map I want Taquito for.
It's definitely a map that you'd want Taquito for. And him not being here is a very bad thing. I think that if that is the case, the best thing Whispering Almond can do is drag this out. And on the flip side, if you're Goofy, you want this done and dusted. You want that second set straight away. The more points that you can pick up with Taquito having to not battle against Taquito is... It just adds the pressure onto Whispering Almond. They have got to protect as long as they can and drag this out. And Goofy just need to shut this down as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Like I said, like we talked about at the beginning, the weaknesses. If a team has weaknesses, you need to exploit them as best you can. And this is the best chance they're going to get.
Yeah, absolutely. I fully agree. And I think, those two hidden picks now, in retrospect, probably on purpose, right? You don't want Taquito coming in for the hidden picks, so you pick them first in Grand Finals. And we will probably see them picked first in bracket reset as well if we get there. Because Goofy do not want to see Taquito play those. So I think those picks are completely on purpose. And it's trying to take advantage of the fact that Taquito is not here at the moment. Because if you're we saw Rectigon play Hidden 3. I'm pretty sure that should have been Taquito if they have the full roster, right? Rectigon is not a hidden player. He's an incredible player, extremely good hard rock player, but he is not a hidden player. So I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be Taquito if they have the full roster. But enough about that. Let's get into this map. This is one of the custom songs for this pool. Actually, one of 3 custom songs. We have already seen another one of them in Hidden 3. The first pick was actually, our second pick for Goofy was actually a custom song. And yeah, this is another one of those custom songs here in No Mod 6. It's a relatively rhythm-intensive map. Low approach rate at the same time as it is a tech map and a rhythm map. Lots of really tricky slider aim and changes in beat snap divisor all throughout. Mapped by none other than Ryusei Aika, who is very good at making maps feel extremely obtuse and need a lot of practice to do well on. This is such a ridiculously tricky song to play correctly. Fancy and Henry both with some early breaks. Zuni gonna find another break as well for Goofy and Kriller here. It is just Fiery Rage now with the FC for Goofy up against 3 FCs from Utami, Malashevsky, and Badiou.
Again, we've still got quite a ways to go through this map yet, though. Plenty of time for recovery and disaster for both of these teams. And that is a big disaster for Goofy as Fiery does drop the full combo. They have got no combo at all. They all found breaks there before this butterfly slider. And there is still Badiou.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is why they picked it, right? Is because Badiou will just go off. We did see, again, we saw Goofy play this yesterday, and they got 1.3 million or so up against The. But I don't think that's going to be enough here, even if they match their score from yesterday, because Badiou is he's doing Badiou things. This is an incredibly hard reading map. I think more so than it is a test of finger control and speed like a lot of other rhythm hell maps. So Badiou is right at home on something like this, and it shows right here. He does finally find the drop. Does finally drop that big combo. Utami also, actually it's a 4-way wipe for Whispering Almond. Wait a second. Henry and Kriller have some combo here. Fire Rage is not too far behind. Do Goofy have enough time to bring this back? It's less than a quarter of the map remaining. There goes Kriller. I don't think they're going to be able to do it now with Kriller missing there. Even with the big combos on Fiery and Henry, I don't think it's going to be enough for them to come back here. And that should still be the win for Whispering Almond off of an absolutely monstrous score from Badiou, over 500k. Top scoring it so far on the weekend.
Yeah, but that was looking a little scary. Despite how well Badiou did on that, they nearly lost that. Kriller had managed to keep that big combo there. That could have been, that would have flipped, I think. Away from Almond, which they cannot afford at this stage. 4 points down, wow.
Yeah, I want to point out as well, 2 miss for Malashevsky, 1 miss for Tommy on that map. I mean, yes, they're B ranks. Yes, they're relatively low score, but like, what? Those are ridiculous scores, actually. Some of the miscounts for the side of Whispering Almond just going off. I mean, there's only 1 single-digit miscount for Goofy, and that was on Henry with a 5 miss. So 3 out of 4 members there, Badiou, Malashevsky, and Utami, all on single-digit miscount and all less than 5 misses. It really speaks to the overall comfort on the map there. And that's kind of what I'm talking about with these reading picks for Whispering Almond. I mean, this team is so incredibly good at reading. It's not even funny. They are absolutely monsters on these types of maps. We do see, by the way, our second round of bans starting off. Goofy is ahead at the moment. They are up 3-1, so they ban first. Whispering Almond bans second, and then we go back to the next pick for Goofy. It is that double time 4 being banned out. You can see by the artist name there, DT Tech by Usao. AR 10.3 DT Tech. Not something that you can really take lightly here. 192 BPM, so all focused on the finger control and aim control, and a lot of really tricky slider stuff in that map as well. And not your typical Usao song, a little bit lower BPM than usual, but Cubby well known for mapping these types of really, really tricky DT Tech type of maps. No Mod 2 banned for Whispering Almond is not something I was expecting to see here. I suppose, however, when we see DT2 go the way that it does, you may consider that ban if you are Whispering Almond and not want to play Goofy on another stamina or speed map. So I can understand where that ban comes from right now. If your team is not feeling good on speed and stamina, you lean into the reading, you lean into what has worked, and you potentially reevaluate your ban strategy a bit here.
Yeah, these bans paint a very different picture, knowing that Taquito is not here. I don't think Goofy is as worried as they might have potentially been. I mean, they might have known from the beginning that Taquito wasn't going to be here. But still, they're not going to be... They're definitely going to play this a bit more outwardly, knowing that they're 3-1 up. They've won some of the hidden maps. They've not had to go against Taquito. You know, they can just comfortably advance through some of their picks where they wouldn't probably have to face Taquito anyway, and they're going with DT1.
What a fitting artist name for Double Time 1. Aimer. Two-Face, song by Aimer. What a fitting artist name for a Double Time 1. 274 BPM. AR 10.4 this time around. That is AR 9.1 with DT originally. And 7.8 stars on both the old and new star rating. About the same on both of them. So very difficult DT aim map and relatively fast as well. You don't see a lot of DT ones above that 270 mark. So you're looking almost a little bit more at aim control and high single tap prowess if you do find a lot of players who want to single tap something like this. Sawada and Majora probably right at home on this sort of pick. Very, very good, very high BPM aim players.
Yeah, I'm curious to see particularly who Goofy are going to put in for this. I mean, you can have a rough estimate of who you're expecting to see. You know, I'm looking at, you know, White Cat MREC. Fiery Rage, perhaps?
Yeah, 274 BPM Fiery Rage? Fiery Speed? I don't know, maybe. I mean, you can see Badu go in if they're on the side of Whispering Almond, so perhaps. But I'm pretty sure they will have in like Sawada, Enri, White Cat, MREC for the side of Goofy. I don't think they need to put in players like Kriller or Fiery who might struggle a little bit with the speed.
I believe in the Fiery Rage.
All right, let's see it.
DT1.
I'm ready for Fiery. I'm ready for Fiery DT1. Let's go.
Show me the Fiery Rage right now. Damn it.
No, but we do see Zoodinator DT1.
Oh, there you go. That's just as wacky. That'll work.
No Badu DT1, however, for this side of Whispering Almond. It's going to be Malashevsky, Tommy, Rectagon, and I'm a Fancy Lad in for all very good DT1 players. Not too surprised to see any of them in. They're all very good DT farm, so they should be all comfortable on this. Fancy with a very early miss. It's traded, however, with Utami, White Cat, MREC, all missing right afterwards, so 2-2 on the full combos. Fancy, however, just a little bit more uncomfortable with the map, it looks like. Enri and Zoodinator holding off the full combos from Malashevsky and Rectagon right now, getting into the first Ki time.
Yeah,
you actually see a miss from Zoody during the Ki time. That's pretty big. It's combo advantage over to Whispering Almond. And on Malashevsky and Rectagon, those are some pretty convincing players to have your combo advantage be with. But, okay, there goes Rectagon. Never mind. My bad, guys.
You know, it happens to the best of us, Dio. I mean, you know, you gotta predict the wins and predict the breaks. But, yeah. Whispering Almond still holding that very slight lead, and Fancy Lad finding a break, though. Is that going to be enough to flip it? You've got the big combos. Malashevsky versus Enri right now. Supporting combo battle up against White Cat and Utami right now. But MREC is making that difference. They are going to flip it. Goofy holding the lead right now with the break from Utami. That's really going to open the door for Goofy. Takes but a double break. Henry and Zutinator right there. Fancy going to be finding another break, but Malachevsky's got a bit of wiggle room here. No support.
Just not enough support on the FC from Malachevsky. And despite no FCs for Goofy, they still pull it off. 900k on Henry, 880k on Whitecat, 860k on Emrek. Those top 3 scores looking so good for Goofy. Despite the bottom scores for Zudi there not being nearly as comfortable as the rest of the roster, it ends up not mattering whatsoever as they put up, once again, an over 3 million team score on a map in the grand finals.
Yeah, again, they are not messing around in this first set. Really picking clever maps, and they're not making the mistakes that that have tripped up Whispering Almond on that DT2. That was at the end. That was a bad. I don't want to say a bad pick, but it was they very much underestimated Goofy and their potential on a map like that, and it may just cost them this first set. We'll have to see. Hard Rock 3 coming out from Whispering Almond.
Yeah, unfortunately for Goofy, that trick's only going to work once, right? So unless we see them take a break point here afterwards, you have to like the odds for Whispering Almond going into the bracket reset with, like we talked about before this match started, the extra information that the first round of grand finals brings, right? You get to feel out your opponents a little bit more and go for some weird picks like this. The Hard Rock 3, not necessarily an expected pick against a team like Goofy, who not only like alt maps, but are good on the Hard Rock as well. I think this is a very interesting pick from Whispering Almond, and something that may lean a bit more into the experimental picks that we saw them mention before the start of the weekend. So, Swing Hard Rock, Hot Skira, mapped by Kipalt. Normal circle size, CS 5.2, so just CS4 with Hard Rock. Absolutely normal there. But really focused on, again, doubles aim control and finger control being a swing map. It's something that you would expect Goofy to pick most of the time, and Whispering Almond going for this pick, again, really speaks to perhaps some experimentation. Rectagon Majora absolutely in for the map. I'm not sure who fills out the rest of the roster, however. We'll see who ends up going in for this. Probably Badu as well on a map like this, where it is swing Hard Rock. Badu actually a very good Hard Rock player, despite some stereotypes about what he can and can't play. And there he is. Tommy going to fill out the rest of the roster here. No Majora, however. It's Malachevsky and Tommy join Rectagon and Badu for Whispering Almond on their pick. Whitecat, Emrek, Reedcat, and Zutinator. No big surprises there. Reedcat and Zudi, both very, very good Hard Rock tournament players.
Yeah, so we see some early slip-ups from Goofy here, which isn't too big of a shock. They've got to adjust to this map just a little bit more. But they're very early breaks as well, so plenty of time for recovery on this over nearly 3.5 minute map. Looking at this, so we have breaks there from Whitecat and Emrek. And Zutinator are going to be joining them as well, alongside Utami and Reedcat there. As it looks like it's still going to be in the favor of Whispering Almond here.
By a pretty wide margin as well. Badu and Malachevsky still on the full combos at the moment, and with 96 AC on both of them, you're looking at best AC in the lobby for those two, and on FCs. Emrek not too far behind on 96 himself, or just under 96 now, and not too far behind on combo either. A couple more missed slider ends for Badu compared to Malachevsky, is where that combo difference comes from. But big score lead now already built up for Whispering Almond, 300,000 score ahead for them, and this alti swing-focused hard rock pick working out extremely well for them right now. The aim control on Badu and Malashevsky looking incredibly good here. And, well, the rest of the roster actually looking pretty solid as well. Rectagon and Utami on very good recovered combos. Utami really been upping his hard rock game recently. Whitecat struggling with this map a little bit, down at 250k. Reedcat as well. I mean, the accuracy not looking good for him, down around 200k. And even with the miss for Utami there, it's just not going to matter. Another miss comes out for Emrak on the side of Goofy, and this lead is just completely insurmountable. The miss from Badu is not going to matter. With a quarter of the map left and no FC is on the side of Goofy, that 600k is not going anywhere anytime soon. And to boot, you still have an FC going on Malashevsky right now.
Utami there praying a bit for the carry from his team. Obviously not having the best day on this map, but it doesn't matter because his team is behind him. And Malashevsky looking to really stand out here from the crowd with this FC. Can he take it all the way? A little bit of time left. I think he's got this, you know. Never mind. I don't know why I bother.
Well, nice try. Very, very good score from Malashevsky regardless. I mean, Badu also 630k on this map. Both of them outscoring anybody on the side of Goofy. And with that, you have a win by about 540,000 score for Whispering Almond on that Hard Rock 3. And that is a very one-sided pick right there. Super, super solid for Whispering Almond on that one. Near 500k for Rectagon as well, matching the top two scores out of Goofy from Zudi and Emrek. And then, even though Utami's struggling a little bit on that map, Reedcat and Whitecat can't say much better. And so you have a pretty good overall team here for Whispering Almond. No pop-off potential for Goofy on that kind of map. Emrek, one missing, though. So you do have a very low miscount on the side of Emrek. Potentially, he can pop off on that map and try to match some of the high scores coming out of Malashevsky, but you're looking for the team support there, where even the third member for Whispering Almond in Rectagon is still around that 500k mark. One pop-off is not going to do it for you. So still just the one breakpoint so far. Only DT2 going the opposite way. Both of these teams with very, very good picks and bans. And Goofy still coming out ahead here 4-2 at the moment with that extra win on Whispering Almond's first pick. We'll see if they are able to just keep winning their own picks. The only thing that Goofy needs to do is keep on winning their own picks. If they do that, they win this round of the Grand Finals without going to tiebreaker. They don't need any more breakpoints. They can just win this first set without going to tiebreaker by winning their own picks. And we'll see if they are able to do that with their next pick here. It'll be Free Mod 3, Catastrophe by Muriok P. And mapped by Yaspo, this is... those are not stats after Hard Rock, by the way. This is 6.9 stars base star rating, CS 5.2, and AR 8.5 to start with. So a nearly 7-star low AR, high CS free mod map. Just brutal. Yeah, brutal for sure. CS 6.76 after Hard Rock. And of course, this map very, very awkward. Lots of really, really tricky streams as well. And at 200 BPM, and the density on AR 8.5 actually is quite high for this map, given that it is 200 BPM. Fun fact about this map as well, with Hard Rock, this becomes the highest star rating map in the pool at 8.08 stars, excluding the tiebreaker. So this is without a doubt one of the hardest maps in the pool, whether you're taking Hidden or Hard Rock. You're really going to want to have some comfortable no-mod players for a map like this, because when it comes to consistency on Free Mod 3, yeah, if you're a Hard Rock main, you can take Hard Rock on some of the lower stage maps and be pretty consistent on them. But this is 8 stars when you put on Hard Rock. Consistency on an 8-star is very different from something like your consistency on a 6.9-star map. So if you have the low approach rate players who can go in, play this Nomad, get those consistently high scores, that will often end up making the difference in grand finals, where you only need one hard rock and one hidden to properly play this map in free mod. We'll see what the rosters end up being for both of these teams. It's going to be the hidden hard rock for Zudi, preference hidden on that hidden hard rock, hidden only for Enry, and then White Cat and Kriller on the Nomad to be those rocks, the super high scores for them. Tommy Badu filling those roles for Whispering Almond, with Malashevsky on the hidden only and Rectagon on hard rock only for Whispering Almond.
Yeah, and so you take a hidden hard rock on this reminds me of back in the earlier days of OC tournaments, where you used to have players who would be mod tanks, where they would essentially just take mods just to fill the slot and rely entirely on their no-mod players to pull home the scores on maps such as this. This is kind of a throwback to those sorts of play styles in tournaments. I miss those days sometimes.
Well, unfortunately, a different type of miss coming through for Zudi. It is matched, however, by Rectagon for Whispering Almond. Henry, however, going to miss on the hidden only. You've got better supporting combo on Malashevsky now, and 2 FCs to 1 FC and a reverse choke for Kriller and White Cat, respectively. Utami and Badu holding better no-mod scores right now, and the modded hidden Malashevsky looking better than that hidden only for Henry this map. Perhaps not going the way that Goofy would have wanted it to, but there's a miss from Badu. Kriller is going to match, though. The full combos trade, and once again, you get slight combo advantage over to Whispering Almond. Zudi, however, has been recovering a little bit better than Rectagon has and is bridging that gap. But look how close the score is, Demarsh. It's like 10K the entire way through this section. There's just barely any trades happening at the moment. It's the extra combo on Badu over Kriller, I think, that's making the difference right now, as Malashevsky continues to hold on to this reverse choke, and Utami continues to FC over White Cat. But there goes Malashevsky! Big drop for Whispering Almond. Can Goofy hold long enough to extend the score lead out? Kriller's gonna miss. Rectagon's gonna trade it.
Falling apart. It's falling apart. White Cat gone as well. Everyone's falling apart. Utami is holding this. Enough time. There can't be. Surely not.
It's Utami versus Zudinator. Zudi misses at the end. She misses right at the end. Utami misses right after. Held. If he had held through the ending, that would have gone over, and it would have brought the breakpoint back for Whispering Almond, but not meant to be. 35,000 points. The win for Goofy keeps their breakpoint intact and makes it so that they are still on track to win this first set of the grand finals. Extremely close map there. The one miss for Utami matched by the misses at the end for Zudinator. Ridiculously close map for both of these teams.
Utami is gonna be kicking himself. He was SSing. I didn't want to say it because I know what's happened thus far, but he was SSing over half of the map on the Nomad. Over half of the map on an SS, and he misses right at the end. I think that the SS was causing him to have nerves. That he wouldn't. I don't think he normally breaks on that map, especially at that ending.
I mean, what else do you say besides odds almost paying off for Tommy, right? This guy's just ridiculous on low approach rate, and funny thing that most people probably forget by this point is that Utami, when he first started playing tournaments, there were 2 skills that he played all the time, and those were low approach rate hidden and double time speed. So for him to get that high score is expected, but to just barely not find the win is so unfortunate for him, and maybe a bit heartbreaking, but he's the kind of player who will need to shake it off as we get into the pick here. Nomad 4 for Whispering Almond. Now, this is a map, again, that was played yesterday. Was actually the Protect for Goofy yesterday. So Whispering Almond picking the map that Goofy protected and saying, yeah, we are going to beat you on this. Goofy won this, closed the match out yesterday against with this map. It was Kriller on the 600k, but about 400k for most of the other members, 1.7 million team score altogether. So Whispering Almond may be saying, hey, yeah, we can still win this map. If you get the score you did yesterday, we're going to beat you. And going for a very interesting picking the map that your opponents protected in the last match that they played. One other thing to note, I mean, in the winners finals, when we saw Nomad 4 in winners finals, it was a win for Goofy by only 63k, 64k. So extremely close map, and I think we're probably going to get a relatively close map again here, because both of those teams only got about 1.8, 1.9 million in the winners finals. You don't expect either of these teams to get too much higher than what we saw yesterday in the losers grand finals, with Goofy and the going head to head. So let's see what Whispering Almond can bring to the table on this. It's a confident pick to be going for something like this when your opponents protected it yesterday. When this was the map, they said, yeah, we're going to close this match out with this map and protect it for the entire way through the match. By the way, I do want to point out, neither team has used their protects so far. We haven't talked too much about that, but those protects still available for both of these teams, all ready to go. So I am excited to see this. It's real easy tech. It is a lot of slider aim at the start, some just absolutely ridiculous slider shapes, slider velocity changes, mid-slider, things like that, and going into the classic rail easy cut stream tech during this part of the song that you hear in the background right now. This is a mix of all different styles, and unless you are good on all of them, you're going to have a bad time at some point during this map. Let's see who can bring it out on this one. It's Malashevsky, Utami, I'm a Fancy Lad, and Madonna in for Whispering Almond on their pick, Nomad 4. White Cat, Henry, Kriller, and Emrek to try and steal away another breakpoint. And that slider lets you know exactly what you're getting into with this map.
Yeah, the coin has been launched. I can't wait to find out which way it is going to land on this one, because let's be honest, this is partially a coin flip kind of map. It's going to come down to individual performances, especially in Utami and Majuro finding the first breaks. Not going to bode well for Whispering Almond on their pick. They need this to, really run down this match, as we've talked about before, and they are not off to the best of starts. All players on Goofy still holding, though. This is what they were able to do yesterday on this map, and with pretty much an entire team reset from Whispering Almond, they are really building from the ground up.
And it's gonna take a bit to build. I mean, you're getting into some of the other parts of this song now, some of the other parts of the map. There goes your last high combo on Utami, and this pick has just completely backfired for Whispering Almond at this point. Look at the team performance right now from Goofy. Henry finally drops. White Cat does finally find a slider break as well. It is 2 slider breaks there at the end of that section, but Emrek still on the full combo. We saw 3 FCs over halfway into the map for Goofy on this pick, and Emrek to still hold off the only high combo on Malashevsky for Whispering Almond. They are up already 300,000 score, and likely to extend that lead a bit more here in the back half as we get past these long high velocity sliders and into the cut streams at the end. We'll see how well Emrek fares, whether he can keep the full combo. None of these maps in grand finals are meant to be full comboed, by the way. We see so many close scores to FCs or potential FCs for many players. There goes Emrek, by the way, into the cut stream section. It's Malashevsky and Fancy Lad who are holding right now. Tommy is going to find a drop. White Cat and Henry do have some combo. Kriller is going to match the combo from Fancy Lad, but there is still score lead on Goofy. It's 300,000. Oh my god. Wait, everybody's gone.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Hold on to your hats. It's not enough. The map's over. I forgot it ended that quick.
Man, it's very, very good team scores for a lot of Goofy, and you can see where the score comes from. I mean, 680k for Malashevsky, actually top scoring the map. Fancy Lad with the third best score in the lobby at 614k, but every single member of Goofy is above 500k on that. And you know what? I think this pick is fine from Whispering Almond because guess what? Goofy only scored 1.7 million on this yesterday. They again outperformed their team score from yesterday by 500,000 score. It's as if they added another member to their team, which, I wonder who finally showed up. It's Emrek, once again, making the difference, top scoring for Goofy on that map, allowing players who are uncomfortable to sit out on it, and for them to take another breakpoint. 2 losses on their own picks for Whispering Almond. Goofy at match point here during the first set of the grand finals, and poised to bring us to a bracket reset here in the last match of the Corsace Open 2022. We're going to get one more ban from each team here. Our third round of bans coming out. And it is kind of hard to predict what these teams actually want to ban. You would usually say the no mod 5 for Goofy, but they absolutely dominated on that double time 2 earlier in the match. You would usually say something like the DT3, but again, they're not looking at the speed map. You could say something like the Hard Rock 2. I think that would be an okay ban for Goofy, because frankly, I don't know what else they want to ban here, as everything else actually looks pretty good for them. Even something like the free mod 1, where you would usually say, hey, it's a little speedy, I think they probably want to leave it open, and yeah, it is going to be that Hard Rock 2 ban. The Hard Rock 3 win for Whispering Almond really helping them out so far in this match, and there's the no mod 5 ban from Whispering Almond, losing that DT2 and then banning out no mod 2 and no mod 5 afterwards. They really do not want to play these speed maps. They do not want to play the tapping intensive picks. They have gone now for some reading maps and some ulti swing maps in Hard Rock, some tech maps in no mod, but they have lost one of those other picks as well. And the shoe, I mean, is completely on the other foot from the expectations for this match. Basically, everybody that we have talked to has talked about Whispering Almond being without a doubt the best team in the tournament and being incredibly well poised to take this grand finals, to win it in the first set. When we did the podcast on Friday and talked about these matchups in particular, this grand finals matchup between Goofy and Whispering Almond, 3 out of 4 of us said that we thought Whispering Almond would win, but this is Goofy just completely beating out all of our expectations and pushing Whispering Almond probably to the bracket reset. And I would be very surprised to not see the protects come out here. Hard Rock 1 to potentially close out the first round of grand finals and bring us to bracket reset.
Well, I mean, we think back to, well, it must have been close to an hour ago now, hour and a half. We talked about how this was their map protection, and if I don't want to jinx anything, but yesterday's score in that match was 7-2. We are at 6-2 right now. Is it possible that we have a repeat of yesterday's score taking us into the bracket reset, where anything could happen in that final set?
I'm ready
God,
for it.
I hope so. I hope so. I really hope so.
Well, we got at least one more map to get us there, Demarsh. A map could be this Hard Rock 1. 7.73 star aim consistency in Hard Rock is nothing to sneeze at here. 210 BPM, you know, a little bit fast, but not really any speed to speak of in this map. This is pretty much all aim. A little bit awkward, but relatively comfortable. Relatively comfortable aim in this map. It's contrast with a lot of the slider heavy stuff going on in No Mod 1, or the really awkward aim in Hidden 1. You get a pretty overall comfortable, consistent Hard Rock 1 here, and that is something that these members for Goofy are all going to be very, very strong on. We talked back at the start of this match, nearly an hour ago now, about how a lot of the members for Goofy are actually quite good Hard Rock aim players, and how Whispering Almond may be a little bit less comfortable on the Hard Rock as a modification. but still has a relatively good Hard Rock lineup, especially when you get those techie Hard Rock picks. Players like Rectagon, Majora, Malashevsky, all very, very good on techie Hard Rock maps. And of course, Malashevsky going to be very good on this type of Hard Rock 1 aim as well, but some of those other members not necessarily known for just raw Hard Rock aim, whereas you have players like Zudinator, Fire Rage, White Cat, who are all such good, straight up normal aim consistency players, and are going to fare extremely well on a map like this.
Yeah, and you can actually, I can certainly feel the tension right now, waiting for it, because it's been an unusual long break here as players ready up for this Hard Rock 1. You know, for Whispering Almond, they need to pick one hell of a lineup going into this, and there's going to be so much pressure on the line to not wipe the slate here. And same on Goofy. Goofy are going to want to see this just go exactly the plan, and not have to worry about anything going wrong. This is their, you know, pocket pick. They have saved it. They want to act on it. You just hope, in a way, for them at least, that it all goes according to plan, and we go straight to a bracket reset.
Well, unfortunately for us here spectating the match, commands in lobby are not going according to plan, as apparently the map is not starting. So we're gonna get players re-downloading the map apparently, and hopefully get into this one shortly. Potentially last pick for Goofy, potentially last map of the first set of grand finals. Again, if Goofy do win this, they force us to a bracket reset. We are not done with grand finals if Goofy wins here. We need to play another best of 13 to see Goofy finally win the tournament, or to see Whispering Almond stage the comeback and win themselves, keep their spot as the first seed in this tournament alive. This has been a ridiculous tournament for Whispering Almond. And to see it turn out like this in grand finals, I think would be tragic for them. This is a team that top scored 10 out of 11 maps in the qualifiers. That's not like they were first seed. They were first seed on all but one map in qualifiers. They were undefeated in maps until the winners finals. The first time they lost a map was against Goofy in winners finals. So they had dropped 0 maps in round of 32, round of 16, quarterfinals, and semifinals. There was one win by default in there, but still, to not drop a single map through 3 different matches is absolutely ridiculous. And then finally, we see them get challenged in winners finals. And here, I mean, pushed to the limit for sure. And we finally get into what could be the last map of this first set of grand finals. It's Hard Rock 1. Protected map pick for Goofy. White Cat, Kriller, Emrek, and Zudinator here to show us why this was their protected pick. Rectagon, Malashevsky, I'm a Fancy Lad, and Utami here to try and keep this first set of grand finals going, to try and stage the comeback down match point and stall out for the full roster to be here to Spring Almond.
So, looking into this, we have that early break from Emrek there. That is actually fine, as Fancy Lad will have a late trade on that. And is once again back into the hands of Goofy in terms of combo. They are going to hold the lead here. Good accuracies across the board. We've got some strong accuracies on both sides, but particularly strong on Whispering Almond. That's why it hasn't quite flipped over, especially now with that other break from Emrek here. They are struggling, those two players, Emrek and Fancy Lad.
Malashevsky and White Cat going to trade some misses as well here. Kriller as well to drop, though, for Goofy.
Oh dear.
Zudi also finds the miss. Pressure of the Protect was too much, because this has just completely been flipped on its head. What was once a completely dominant pick for Goofy, the No Mod 1 in finals, is now just going terribly for them here. Whispering Almond pulling the same kind of thing that Goofy did on DT2 here on Hard Rock 1, completely upending our expectations with Utami and Rectagon still holding on to a double full combo halfway into this map.
Yeah, they don't want to do what everyone else has done. They don't want to join the team, and they're just gonna charge on ahead with these 2 full combos, and there is nothing Goof can do at this stage but watch. Unless they break, there's nothing that can be done to stop them. And
I mean, these scores are ridiculous. Utami finally finds a miss. Rectagon hits the space stream there, the accelerating space stream, hits the jumps afterward. These are not super comfortable jumps during the map, by the way. These are some wide angle, relatively awkward jumps on super high spacing, on higher than usual circle size, CS 5.5 versus CS 5.2, like per usual. He's holding 99.3% accuracy on the FC. You see 2 S ranks for Kriller and Zudi, by the way. Despite Kriller being in the 300k range, he is still S ranking. And Zudi with a slider break as well at 99 AC. This map could be so much closer, but it's just not happening because the unlucky slider breaks for Zudi and Kriller keep coming through, and Rectagon is just finding none of them, still FCing over 3/4 of the way into the map. Again, these maps were not meant to be full comboed. You're looking at incredible pop-off scores when you see the full combo here, and well, if we see this full combo, that is going to be one of the best scores in this weekend.
I'm saying nothing.
I'm saying it. He's still going. He's still FCing. Will he hit the ending streams? Will he hit the ending jumps? Is it going to happen? Will we see the FC to take away the breakpoint here? No, he's finally going to miss. But that doesn't really matter. Near a million score gone alone. 700k for Utami, 650k plus for Malashevsky as well. It just doesn't matter what Goofy wanted to do on that map, because guess what? They're down 600,000 score plus thanks to some insane performances from Whispering Almond. They could have 3v4'd and completely left off Fancy Score and still won that map. Credit to Goofy for a relatively good, consistent team score, all above 500k, but it just doesn't cut it apparently on this map, because these 3 players, Malashevsky, Rectagon, and Utami, could have won by themselves on that one. Absolute dominance from Whispering Almond to keep this match going and bring us to 6-3. Still down match point, but with some fight left in them for sure.
I'll tell you what, I'm so glad it was you that caused that was talking when he broke, because I've been doing it constantly throughout this match. So I'm glad you finally have one, so people don't think, oh, it's just Ahmad, it's just him doing it. No, it's Dio2. We're both in the same boat. We have caused absolute chaos right now. I don't mind it, but it's just interesting to know.
it's always fun when the team, is already thing like big on there, right? Like, even if he breaks, it doesn't really matter. So, always fun to do in those situations. And I feel like this is going to be another map where we can caster curse all we want, and it's really not going to matter, because this is pretty well set up to be an insanely dominant pick for Whispering Almond. Hidden 2, mapped by Half Slashed. It is Zune, Toho, Overlap, Hell on this map. AR8, low approach rate reading, which is something that Whispering Almond have completely dominated from qualifiers to finals. This is not something that you are going to expect to win from Goofy on at all. Yes, they had good scores on the no mod scores for their free mod 3, but a lot of that was carried by Zuni going hidden hard rock and having a pop-off score there. You don't have that option. You also have to take hidden, and this team was not built for the low approach rate stuff. As a reminder, if we do get the win for Goofy here, we will have a bracket reset after this. So don't go anywhere. This match is only over for good if Whispering Almond manage to take us to tiebreaker and win. So long road to get there for Whispering Almond if they do want to close this out without bracket reset. Goofy will have to go through that bracket reset and play a whole nother best of 13 and win it if they want to win the tournament. Let's see how this hidden 2 goes, Demarsh. I'm looking forward to some pop-off scores from Whispering Almond.
Yeah, I mean, you'd hope so. You hope it wouldn't go like the last map we just saw, where team uses their protected pick and then they have a triple break. That'd just be awful. But don't worry about that. That is definitely not a premonition of things to come. As we saw, Malijewski, Badu, and Bartek all have early breaks there, and Bartek's gone again. I hope that it doesn't go that way. Better start though for Goofy. As
Demarsh, is there something you want to tell us? Have you been practicing black magic in secret here, man?
Hey, look, I've been away for a while, and it's good to be back. But no, Emmerich does find the break there alongside Bartek. Krilla also finding a reset, so it's starting to level things out. Never mind.
Ooh,
what is going on?
Everyone besides Badu is breaking. That's what's going on. And, Badu is kind of the secret weapon for games like this, right? Like, you don't see a lot of Badu in tournament late stage rounds. But when he is here, when he is in for a map, you expect great things from him. And he is kind of the player I was alluding to when I was talking about pop-off performances on a map like this.
I mean, Badu is like one of those entities that just has... I don't think we've ever actually cursed out Badu, to be honest. I don't think he's ever listened to us. He doesn't seem to follow those rules. And that's what makes him such a great player. But no, he's destroying this map. 99 AC as well. Unbelievable. I
mean, this is such a Badu map, right? This is like aim control alt with overlapping patterns and hidden, and it's also low approach rate. Right? Like, what else do you want for a Badu pop-off score, right? What else do you want to make this impossible for everybody else and absolutely right up Badu's alley? This is the kind of map that you put him on a team for and say, hey, Badu, when it comes times for grand finals, can you carry us on this map and just 1v4 the other team? And for him to say, yeah, no problem, guys. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I still got 99 AC full combo 3/4 of the way into the map. Nobody on the other team has combo at all. This is just what he does. This is just Badu in a nutshell here. I mean, what else can you say besides what the hell, man? This guy's nuts.
He fears no one. He fears no map. There's no way that he breaks here. There's no way. So, congrats, Badu.
Oh my god. I mean, how do you read these streams? How do you read these?
It's just what he does. It's what he does. It's what he does, Dio. Wait, he broke?
Wait,
he broke at the beginning. He broke at the beginning. I forgot I cursed him at the beginning. That's why. Oh, it makes sense.
Oh my god. Okay, well, I mean, hey, at least we get, at least he's got 990k, right, guys? Well, Badu over half his team's score, and Goofy at 1.5 million means that Badu has carried. Badu has carried. That's about all there is to it. Tactical miss at the start. I was wondering why there was the XD at the end of the map. I guess that's why. Why. Well, still 6-4, still match point here for Goofy, but this is a much more tenuous position for them. Their protect did not work out, and they have one pick left. This is their last pick, whether they like it or not. So, whether they win it or not, everything's on this map really to try and stay away from the tiebreaker. If they lose this, their destiny is in the hands of Whispering Almond. And that is not a place you want to put your destiny. I like to keep my eggs away from that basket, please. Away from my opponent's reach. So picking well here really going to matter for Goofy. Weirdly enough, I know this is going to sound weird. I weirdly enough think the double time 3 is actually okay for them here. I would not have said this before the start of the match, but I think it could be okay. Is that DT3? It is! There it is! Called it. 285 BPM speed. AR apparently 9.9. I believe on the is a different approach rate, however. Yeah, this is AR 10.1. The stats at the bottom of the screen lie to you for this one. AR 10.1, 285 BPM. It's basic speed, but look at the bans for Goofy, or for Whispering Almond, after the loss on Double Time 2. It's been Nomad 2, Nomad 5 banned out, and DT2 lost for them. So I think this pick can work for Goofy. I would not have said that at the start of the match, but the way this has played out has really made me think that these speed maps are going to be the way in for Goofy at the end of this match.
That's not something I don't think anybody who knew Goofy throughout this tournament just went, yeah, no, they don't need to play speeds. It's fine. And now it's like, oh no, they probably win on speed maps. Wow. Okay. Sure, let's go for it. It is probably their strongest pick, I think, at this stage. I mean, there is just not a lot of maps left in the pool in general for them to really choose from. But these are the coin flip maps. You know, both teams they got one map apiece. They've both used their protected picks. They have favored Whispering Almond at this stage. But it sets us up, whether we see a second set or not, it sets us up really good for the end of this set. This should be amazing, regardless of the result.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, this match has been really close. I saw a ton of people say, no, it's not going to be close. It's going to be Whispering Almond stomping again, but this has completely defied those expectations, that's for sure. As Goofy end up picking a map that they lost against they lost this 3.9 million to 2.5 million yesterday, and they pick it here against Whispering Almond. Henry, Emrek, Kriller, and Sawada in for Goofy. White Cat subbing out for Emrek on this one. Majora, Malashevsky, Utami, and Rectagon in for Whispering Almond. Rectagon and Utami already finding a couple of drops. Henry gonna find the drop for Goofy, but a slight score lead, slight combo lead for Goofy at the start of this map.
Utami finding another break alongside Henry. It is the 3 versus 2 at this stage with a recovering Rectagon. But there goes Malajewski. That is huge for Whispering Almond here. Nearly a third into the map as well.
Yeah, now... go ahead.
Carry on, I insist.
Go ahead. Get in there!
Get in there! Henry finds a break to join Malajewski, but it's just Henry that's finding the breaks. Like, literally everyone else on Goofy is holding at this stage.
Yeah, three-way combo halfway through the map. Goofy is a bit good. Emrek and Sawada accuracy is 99 plus for both of them. There goes Emrek slightly below 99, but it really doesn't matter. Kriller, like you said, still holding the FC as well, and it's only Majora for Whispering Almond. Demarsh, you know what I think we have on our hands here? You know what I think we have?
What break? Just saying. Could happen.
Oh, Sawada breaking, actually. You kind of called it there.
Imagine if it happened. If it happened, I mean...
It may not be too early to call this, though. Let's see here. We still have Kriller and Emrek going on the full combos. Rectagon has recovered. Malashevsky and Utami have recovered. You have big combos on the side of Whispering Almond. This is not a guaranteed point here for Goofy. There goes Utami. That is one of the combos dropped for Whispering Almond. Emrek and Kriller hold. That's a 4-way break for Whispering Almond. We're going to bracket reset. Goofy taking the first set 7-4. FCs for Kriller and Emrek on this map to outscore not only Whispering Almond. Okay, Kriller misses at the end. Doesn't matter. Emrek FCs with 99% accuracy. Goofy will outscore both Whispering Almond by nearly 1 million team score and from yesterday, the team that we touted as the single best speed team in the tournament. They are only 200k behind the score that set on this yesterday. The improvement from losers grand finals to grand finals with the addition of Emrek has been absolutely out of this world for Goofy. And their performance here in the first set is going to take them to that bracket reset where everything is on the line and where either of these teams can go home the winner.
Unbelievable. I also kind of did call a 4-way reset, but it was for the wrong team. Just want to point out that hopefully I'll be wrong eventually, but as of right now, yes, it is a victory for Goofy in the first set, but it's definitely not going to be as clear cut in the second set. I mean, they should have won this set after having that breakpoint so early and managing to keep it for so long. They should have definitely won this set, and they did. But do not expect Whispering Almond to give them that much wiggle room in the next set. They have a much clearer picture of how Goofy is playing today and what maps to avoid. So this is going to be even tougher on Whispering Almond. But the one thing you can say for definite is their bans were solid. I think those are definitely maps that Goofy, especially with this team lineup, are going to be strong on. So I don't see Whispering Almond changing these picks at all in this second set.
I don't know. It's so hard to see whether, or to think about whether Whispering Almond want to change their picks. I think for Goofy, you actually gain information out of this set that you really want to use going into the bracket reset. I feel like the information game here, and we talked at the start of the last match about how Whispering Almond is going to get more information about what Goofy can and can't do out of this first set, but I feel like that's been flipped completely on its head because Goofy has managed to take breakpoints that we did not think they were going to be able to take, particularly on the speed. And yes, they lost their Hard Rock 1 Protect, but when you win the DT2 and the DT3, it really calls into question the ability of Whispering Almond as a team to convert on what we thought would have been one of their core strengths going into this grand finals in those speed maps. That was a large part of the reason why everybody on the Full Circle podcast on Friday, almost everybody, predicted Whispering Almond to win the first set of grand finals, and why everybody predicted them to win overall is because they have been throughout the tournament so good on all of these speed maps. But now it really makes it more difficult to try and predict. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I think we're in for another very close matchup. 7-4 in the first set. We're going to take a short little 2.5-minute, 3-minute break, and we will be back shortly with what is sure to be another incredibly hype matchup between the two best teams in the tournament in the grand finals bracket reset of the Corsace Open 2022. Be there. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Corsace Open 2022. It is the true last match of the tournament, the Grand Finals bracket reset. Goofy Lil Jits have won the first round of Grand Finals 7-4 over the predicted favorites, Whispering Almond, who now are on the back foot on the blue side going into the bracket reset. Has been an extremely competitive first match with both of these teams trading blows back and forth, putting up pop-off scores left and right on an extremely difficult Grand Finals pool. Before we get into anything else in this Grand Finals bracket reset, I want to give a quick shout out to the people who have made this possible. The Corsace head staff team who put in ridiculous amounts of work to make this tournament the great community tournament that it is. Ridiculously well-run tournament with, in this pool, 3 custom songs and tons of custom songs all throughout the tournament. Every tiebreaker being a custom song is just absolutely ridiculous. And of course, fully custom maps as per usual in the Corsace Open. If you want to support the efforts of the head staff team and tournament scene overall, as Corsace truly does bring community tournaments to another level, please consider either donating directly to the tournament or using the Momokai sponsored code, or buying the Corsace Tap Trio bundle from Momokai, as all of those proceeds go directly towards either more custom songs or custom maps and making sure that this tournament retains the incredibly high level of quality that it has had throughout its tenure. With that said, Demarche, it is time for bracket reset. Let's get back into it. We're looking at the same 2 teams, Whispering Almond and Goofy. Once again, starting with Whispering Almond for the first protect. Never mind, I got lied to by graphics. It is not Whispering Almond for the protect. Okay, we don't know yet. We'll see. The graphics lied to me. They still have to
the
roll.
bracket reset, folks.
I was trolled, but that's fine. We'll get into it.
Should we go back? Should we just start again? Let's do that again.
Yeah. Thanks to the head staff team. Donate to Corsace, buy the Tap Trio, use code Corsace for 10% off at Momokai. And Demarche, let's get into it here with what I hope is not a second iteration of the graphics trolling me, and hopefully the first protect for Whispering Almond.
Oh, this is going to be a great time.
Oh, man.
There we are.
Real quick, for those of you who are unfamiliar with tournaments in general, these teams are playing on the same map pool. Whispering Almond had not lost a match throughout the tournament, and this is a double elimination tournament, which means that in order to win the tournament, you have to be the last team standing after every other team has lost twice throughout the bracket. That meant that Goofy had to beat Whispering Almond twice here. They have already done so once and forced what we call a bracket reset in the double elimination bracket. So these teams will play on the exact same map pool after having just completed that first best of 13. The exact same rules apply for both of these teams. And we do get, understandably, a different protect for Goofy after losing that Hard Rock 1 in the first round of Grand Finals. Demarche, thoughts on these bans? Thoughts on the bans and protects so far?
Well, I mean, it's interesting that Goofy have chosen to protect that No Mod 1. That is very interesting. DZ3, expected ban. Hidden 2, expected protect. No Mod 1? Interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting they've chosen to protect that one.
I think interesting as well, given how Hard Rock 1 went. Maybe saying, hey, we got players who are comfortable in the No Mod 1 than the Hard Rock 1 this weekend, and really want to play that No Mod 1 instead. They maybe still think they're the better aim team, and they just got, they just flipped tails on that one in the Hard Rock 1 last time around. So we will see what they actually want to have going on here for them. As we get into the first pick for Goofy, I assume that the teams are swapped at the moment, because I would not expect Whispering Almond to pick that No Mod 5 after banning it last time around. I expect that to be Goofy's picked. We did get updated team stats, by the way. So the stats next to the teams are now updated from the first set of grand finals, but the teams themselves are swapped right now. Goofy is on the bottom, Whispering Almond on the top. Don't let the graphics fool you right now as we get this No Mod 5 first pick from Goofy. Speed No Mod, Noise of Yandere, mapped by Alden, excuse me. And yeah, this is really what you expect from No Mod 5 late stage. It is 260 BPM, burst heavy, finger control heavy, actually also slider aim heavy on this No Mod 5, something you really need to be very comfortable on speed to perform on.
Yeah, it was something that was banned later on in the first set, which we just saw, and it'll be interesting. It's a bit more of an unknown. I mean, you're expecting Goofy to take advantage much more of these speed picks now that they've got them on their plate. But at the same time, there is that unknown element to this map that makes me want it, because they still have to be able to perform on a map they've not played in the previous set. They've you know, it's not something that they've had to. They've played a lot of speed maps, but mainly because they've not been the strongest speed team. But now their hand has been forced. They have to play speed more, and that means they're going to be relying on these particular members of their rosters to perform. And we have to see if they can hold up to that in this second set.
This is gonna be an interesting one. I think this is the first time that we map the No Mod 5 get played. It was banned in losers grand finals, and it was banned in the first set of grand finals here by Whispering Almond. So this is gonna be the first time we see it. Neither Goofy nor Whispering Almond have played it so far. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see the shift for Goofy into these speed picks. I'm excited to see the No Mod 5 DT2 first picks from this team, honestly. Because I think if they don't pick the DT2, it probably gets banned. And they know they can win on it. Why pick the No Mod 2 and chance it when you know you have already won that DT2 and you are favored to win it a second time around? Let's get into it. Goofy on the left now, the favored team after that first set of grand finals. Henry, Sawada, Emrek, and Kriller in for this one. Whispering Almond on the right side as blue team. Rectagon, Utami, Malashevsky, and Majora in for this one.
Yeah, setting the scene as we have that early break from Sawada and Rectagon. This is for the entire tournament. This will decide who is first, who is second. There will be no more bracket resets. There'll be no more additional sets at all. First team to 7 points will take the Corsace 2022 Open Championship. And this is not looking good for Goofy with the double break from Henry and Kriller right now. They still have one full combo from Emmerich up against Malajewski and Majore, but the supporting combos from Whispering Almond are doing the damage right now in this first quarter. So there's a break from Utami and Majori, though. Double break. And actually, I would say that the combo advantage is in favor of Goofy right now with the supports from Kriller and Henry. So they have the open door to take advantage of this.
And it's just barely in favor of them, though. We do see very, very close combos for both of these teams. Malashevsky and Rectagon really pulling. Henry is going to find the drop, and that goes a lot of supporting combo for Goofy. Majora is going to trade, however, so still supporting combo advantage for Goofy on Kriller over Utami, about 300 combo up. Sawada, however, drops for Goofy, and that is disaster. Rectagon now unmatched 1100 combo for Whispering Almond. Emrek needs to hold here up against Malashevsky. If we see a break from Malashevsky or Rectigon, there is still the chance for this to go over, but Kriller is going to find another break. There goes Rectigon, and there goes Majora and Utami, and Malashevsky. That's a four-way break for Whispering Almond. Everybody drops, and Sawada and Emrek are able to hold. You see the score almost instantly swap over to Goofy with that four-way drop from Whispering Almond. Emrek gonna see he's the only full combo remaining in the lobby right now, going into the last third of the map, and hopefully is able to combo through these repeating heart sliders. These are not something that you want to sight read as you go right back into speed, into back and forth jumps, into ridiculously tough consistency right afterwards. But the longer he holds, the bigger the score lead starts to get for Goofy. It is not at all guaranteed right now. There is combo on Sawada, a little bit of recovered combo after his earlier break, but will it be enough? If we see a break from Emrek, there's still 50k, 70k score lead for Goofy right now. It is such a small, tenuous grasp of the lead for Goofy. If we see the big break come through for Emrek, it could go right back over, but it's a double break for Rectigon and Majora. Kriller is going to match, and at this point, this lead has gone from tenuous to relatively solidified. It is over 180,000, over 200,000 score lead now for Goofy, as Emrek continues to hold the only full combo in the lobby. What a ridiculous performance from Goofy on the first pick, as Henry and Sawada continue to hold these high supporting combos for Emrek and completely snuff out any chance of those flames rising once again from Whispering Almond. Fantastic early performance from Goofy, as Emrek now on 2,500 combo finishes out the FC for the first map of the bracket reset.
Do you hear that? I definitely heard Emrek exhale just there. Just at the end. I just heard him. Even from this distance. He must have been so unbelievably tense. That is a ridiculous. I mean, just look at the other scores, and then you see that in the bottom left corner. Just there.
One slider break from Utami, by the way. The map, or a couple slider breaks, I believe. Tommy, 2 slider breaks there. Still the S rank, but just, I mean, what do you say to Emrek there with the only FC, the only player above 600k in the whole lobby? There's not much else to do besides say thanks for the carry and move on, man. 400,000.
Well, that's it. What's next?
Yeah, basically 400,000 to win for him on that one, and well, I think we're probably going to see a relatively similar margin of victory on this one. Thoughts, Demarsh? You saw this last time.
Well, the question is Badu here? If the answer is yes, then I think we know how this one's going to go.
Yep.
He doesn't listen to us. Badu doesn't listen to us. We can't stop him. No. So, by that alone, I think Whispering Almond are going to take this.
We will see.
But something that's interesting is that I'm still not sure that Taquito is here yet. And that makes me wonder whether Goofy should go hidden on their next pick.
It's tough to say. It's tough to say, because even if you think, yeah, we should go hidden, do you want to let the DT2 get banned out as well if you're Goofy? I mean, because if you don't go the DT2, that's probably the ban for Whispering Almond, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's damned if you do, damned if you don't for Goofy, because you can leave up the hidden for the second round of picks and go the DT2 now and risk Taquito being there. Or you can go the hidden now and hopefully Taquito's not here yet for Whispering Almond if you are Goofy. And then you start to say, okay, well, now we have DT2 banned out and we've lost what should be a pretty guaranteed point. So it's tough to say exactly what they should do. I think it's a tough choice to make for Goofy, and it'll depend on how much they want to lean into this speed abuse early on and get themselves out to an early lead, because they are already up 1-0. They're probably going 1-1 here. They're probably going 1-1 here, if I had to say. But you is here, you know? So,
He is
yeah.
here.
He is here.
Well, at this point in the matchup, in the last set, this was where Whispering Almond made their mistake. They did it on DT2. It completely backfired on them. And now they're hoping that the same thing isn't going to happen with this Nomad 6. Bit of a trade up. Fiery Rage and Fancy Lad going to be starting us off. Zooty's going to be going as well, though. The dangerous player here for Goofy, though, is definitely Henry. Henry is such a strong player on this map. Definitely had, like, the highest score on this last time. And was really the one who was challenging Badoo on this map. So definitely keep an eye out for those. Of course, they've gone in positions where it's, like, the furthest apart. So it's a bit hard to keep an eye on both of them. But give it a try, as Zooty and Fancy Lad have that trade up.
Yeah, I do want to also call attention to Kriller, because Kriller in the first set only got 263k, but he is already up at 200k right now. I mean, this is way closer than it was during the first round. Badoo and Utami and Malashevsky, however, are all still full comboing for Whispering Almond. What is happening right now? Wait, what is going on?
Give it a minute. It's just your television set. It'll adjust in a minute, I'm sure.
Will it? Will it? Oh my god! I mean, this is even more dominant than the first time we saw it. There's no chance of a comeback at all for the side of Goofy, as the score lead has crested above 450,000 at this point. There's finally a drop from Utami. I'm like speechless. Okay, Malashevsky finally breaks.
I knew it was coming eventually. I knew it was there somewhere.
Okay. There goes Badoo. I was like, are we really getting 2 FCs on this map? Are we really going to get 2 FCs?
We're not even getting one.
We are not. We're not going to get one. But it doesn't matter for Goofy. They are down 500k or so. And yeah, that's all she wrote for Nomad 6. Badoo, Malashevsky, Utami on a reading map. Who would have thought? That's a good combo. Right, guys? Oh my god. Some pretty good reading players.
Nobody hit the end there, though, apart from... Is it just Malashevsky that hit the end there?
I believe so. Yeah, he is the only one. And yeah, I mean, Nomad 6 was just as good of a pick in the first round. It's actually an even better pick here for Whispering Almond in the second round of Grand Finals. They boost their score from 1.35 million to 1.7 million team score.
With much more well-rounded. It wasn't a one carry. It was a much more even distribution of scores.
Yeah, and Goofy as well actually boosted their scores up overall. They got an extra about 75k on that map compared to their score in the first set. But it just doesn't matter because, well, you had 2 people above 500k for Whispering Almond and Utami with 400k. Again, a 3v4 for the top 3 scores there on the side of Whispering Almond. Fancy there to help out as well, still outscoring Zooty. So even just comparing scores across the board, it's a 1-to-1 win for every single score on the side of Whispering Almond. Complete team dominance from them on that Nomad 6, proving once again why they are the single best reading team in the tournament. But we'll see how far that reading can take them. There were a couple of close maps in the last set that were reading focused. That Fremod 3 in particular comes to mind as being the map that they need to watch out for the most. It's not even going to be DT2 or Hidden 3 or Hidden 1 Demarche. It's going to be Double Time 1 instead, going for that super high BPM DT aim.
Why? Just why? I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad pick. I'm just wondering why they picked this here. You know what I mean? It just doesn't. It feels out of place. It feels like something I'd see, you know, 3 to 4 picks down the line. Not as the second pick. They must be confident on this, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel right to me.
It's a good pick. I think I agree. It's a little weird. I mean, we were thinking, you know, hey, Do they want to pick the hidden so that they don't have Taquito for the side of Whispering Almond? Do they want to pick DT2 so that that doesn't get banned? Instead, they want to go for the DT1. I think part of this, I got to look at scores from the last match. So it was 260k the win on DT2 as the first pick breakpoint. And then on this map, it was actually a lower margin of difference in the score lead. It was only 185k here. So I am a little confused by this pick. I think, 262 versus 185k, there's not too much of a difference there. It's 50k on all 4 players difference, which really is not much, or 25k, not even 25k on all 4 players difference. So it's really not that much, but it does make me a little bit anxious for this pick overall, given how close this was in the first set. You saw the FC from Malashevsky and over 600k from both Utami and Rectagon. Fancy with 450k as well. Not a bad score at all. And the reason why Goofy won this map was the 3-way carry performance from Enri, Whitecat, and Emrek, all getting above 850k. Enri above that 900k mark himself. So we'll see how well they are able to replicate it. Kriller stepping in for Zudinator, I think, is a very, very good substitution for Goofy, and likely part of the reason why they are going for this map the second time around as their second pick here before that next round of bans.
Opening this up with Whitecat being the first break. Utami, though, going to be taking a break. Maybe they're tactical. They might be tactical. We've seen it a couple of times. Rectagon also going with the tactical as well. Yep. Like it. I'm not sure that one was as tactical.
Yeah, we'll see. As Malashevsky, once again, the only player with the full combo for Whispering Almond, less than a quarter of the way into the map. Kriller going to find a break for the side of Goofy, but it's not going to matter all that much given the 2-way for Enri and Emrek and the very good recovered combo on Whitecat, more than matching the combo out of Rectagon. And this is looking much better, actually, than it did even during the first round for a Goofy. We're going to have to see them hold on to these high combos, though, unable to do so with a miss right before the break. And so we're going to need some more consistent aim from Emrek and Whitecat on this map if we do want to see Goofy come out on top.
Well, we got a quarter of the map left, and the way this is looking, it should go over to Goofy at this stage. I very much doubt, considering what they've faced already on this map, that there's really going to be any breaks or any massive score change here for Goofy. They are pushing 3 million, looking to go as far as they can, and it's just a very
oh my god. What is this team score, man? It's the FC. So clean, it's the FC from Emrek. The 1 miss reverse choke from Whitecat. 2 scores over 1 million. And in fact, now 3 full combos on this map during the weekend. Just killing it for all of these players, but Whitecat and Emrek in particular. I mean, my god, what else do you say besides thanks for the carry if you are the rest of Goofy? Like, 2 scores over 1 million on that map. You only need 1 of the remaining scores, and it is like, okay, Enri is the worst scorer on the team at 700k with a 1 miss, and they still could have 3v4. Like, Emrek, Whitecat, Kriller, or Emrek, Whitecat, Enri is 3v4 on that map. These are just ridiculously good scores for the side of, again, both of these teams. We saw 3v4s from Whispering Almond, 3v4s from Goofy here, just crushing a lot of the. These scores are insane. I'm lost for words. I'm lost for words because you don't expect this level of dominance so often throughout a grand finals, but it seems like these teams have really settled into knowing what kinds of picks they want to go for and what kinds of maps they are going to dominate on, because they don't want to leave anything up to chance here in the bracket reset.
Well, this was expected. The Hard Rock 3 from Whispering Almond. I don't really know quite what Goofy are to do here. It was a very solid map the last time around, and nothing has really changed. You know, it's not like taquitos really would make any difference to this map. It's just, you just expect Whispering Almond to take this and make it 2-2.
I mean, they already won it in the first set, right? That's what you're looking at. Your last set in 540,000 score. Saying, all right, well, that sounds like a pretty good map to me. Let's go back at it once again. Malashevsky and Badu in particular on this map for Whispering Almond were the biggest reasons why they were able to come out on top. If it is going to be a breakpoint from Goofy, you're looking at potentially Emrek to fix that one miss, 500k, and bring that up to an FC. I think missed right in the middle of the map for Emrek the last time they played this, as he did have actually pretty good combo on this map, right about half combo or so. So a miss halfway through makes a lot of sense there, looking at the score and the accuracy overall for him. If he can avoid that one miss or one slider break in the middle and bring up the FC, this suddenly becomes a very, very, very close map. Before we get into this, though, I want to make a note here. We have the channel points goal going on. You might see a bunch of people contributing points to the channel points goal in Twitch chat if you are watching live. Get some points in there. Bring that prize pool up another $1,000. It costs you nothing, and these players get even more for their efforts here in the grand finals. Regardless of who wins, some of that goes towards whichever team you're rooting for. So put those channel points into that goal, and let's get into another map here. Hard Rock 3, we saw it last time around. It was the win for Whispering Almond. They're going to pick it a second time here in the bracket reset and look to convert 2-0 twice in a row on this map.
Yeah, the reason why you should definitely donate those channel points is I won't be doing any more cursing in this second set because I've done enough damage as it is. So definitely contribute, and I will not cause any more curses, I swear. So Fiery Rage going to be the first one to break this up with the first drop there. But it's early days, so there's plenty of time to recovery. Still got good accuracy as well, which is the main thing. Keeping that up will definitely help his recovery. And may definitely help through this. Rectagon is going to be the first drop for Whispering Almond, though. A bit of a change up from what we saw in the last set. He was a key player for Whispering Almond on these hard drop picks, but Fiery Rage going to be finding another break here. It's going to set them back just a little bit further.
Those breaks don't matter too much. What does matter is the break from White Cat there. Another combo down for Goofy. Whispering Almond still only Rectagon finding the breaks for them at the moment, as all three remaining players continue to FC. Zudi gonna find the drop for Goofy as well. She was their top scorer in the previous set, so that is the top score down for Goofy compared to the last set. It is just Emrek holding on. I said if it was going to be a breakpoint, it would have to be Emrek. I didn't think it would be literally only Emrek going into the second half of the map, though, as Malashevsky, Tommy, and Badu continue to work their magic for Whispering Almond right now. I mean, seriously, 3 full combos still going into the second half of the map is absurd on something like this, which is so tricky, so control focused, both in the finger control and aim control. You have to be so good at these skill sets to perform on a map like this in grand finals. And all 3 of these players are still FCing. Badu is the first one to break. It's Utami and Malashevsky still FCing alongside Emrek. And Emrek is doing his best, man. Like, I called it before this map started that he would have to perform, but holy shit. Look at Utami and Malashevsky. Utami finally drops, but the damage is done. It is 600,000 score. It's 600,000 score, though. Even with all of those breaks, there's just not enough map left for Emrek to stage a comeback with no supporting combos, because the sheer dominance in the first 2/3 of the map is completely unmatched for Goofy. It is Whispering Almond who are too far ahead for even an FC from Emrek to win them the point.
His hack is just not strong enough, unfortunately. Like, he's got the combo, but his hack is just barely above 93. So it's... I just don't know what Goofy can do here. I mean, Whitecat's got a bit of combo, but it's not going to be enough.
It's really not. I mean, yeah, there it goes.
I mean, insane play from Emmerich, but it was just a damned situation. There was nothing he could do with the combo.
And what is Badoo's accuracy on this, by the way? Badoo has 98% AC at the end of this. He has 2% higher accuracy than the next best AC in the lobby. 2 slider breaks for Badoo, 1 slider break for Emmerich on this map, 1 miss for Malashevsky and Whitecat on this. I mean, a bunch of slider breaks for Whitecat, sure, but just absolutely ridiculous scores from everyone. Utami, Badoo, Malashevsky in particular, you cannot overstate how insane those scores are. 3-way full combo over halfway into the map, and just sheer team dominance from Whispering Almond on their second pick once again. And now, after our first 4 maps, Demarche, we have ourselves a bracket reset, man. 2-2 between these two teams, with some banger scores coming out of both of them during the first 4 maps.
I mean, you can see no defeats after 4 maps. I mean, it's standard practice. It's, you know, everyone's picking strong, everyone's banning strong. But this ban phase is going to shake things up. Probably for one team or another, it's going to be a very bad time, I think, because, you know, Whispering Almond, I'm not sure they're in the strongest position. Not having those speed maps, or not being able to compete on the speed maps is really kind of throwing them behind Goofy, really. Goofy just seemed to have a lot more diversity in what they can pick and what they're feeling comfortable on, especially with Taquito being, you know, not being around. It hurts their hidden lineup. You know, their DT lineup is not as strong as Goofy. You know, Goofy are in the driver's seat even though it's 2-2.
Oh man, Demarche, I know who's not here yet. It's Taquito, hidden 3 banned out. DT2 left up through this round of bans. Hard Rock 2 banned once again for Goofy, deciding, no, we really don't want to play this precision hard pick. So banning it out against Whispering Almond. And I actually like that ban. They have lost the Hard Rock 3. They have lost the Hard Rock 1. So they say, you know what, let's actually ban out the Hard Rock, which I think is contrary to the expectations going into this match, with how good they were on the Hard Rocks generally throughout the tournament and how good they were on Tech Hard Rock throughout the tournament. But Whispering Almond clearly a little bit better on that swing Hard Rock 3, and Goofy not wanting to take their chances with that Hard Rock 2. So I do like that ban, given, like you said, how limited it feels like the picks are for Whispering Almond, potentially still missing Taquito with that hidden 3 banned out, and not able to pick into the speed maps, which we thought were going to be one of their biggest strengths in this matchup. And this sounds like that hidden 1. Falcom Sound Team Glessing Way, mapped by Deca. We saw this in the last round. Demarche, take us through this map, man. What do we got?
We have got that sort of old style. If you've ever seen the Falcon Sound Team map that was in OWC by Jonathan FLK, you know exactly the sort of, or you have the same exact expectation that, you know, the Deca mapping is beautifully done on this. You know, very similar of the Jonathan style, and you know, you can expect some really tough patterns that you've got to hit, and you know, very almost jumpy at times. And to be honest, Whispering Almond, they did not have a good time on this last time. Fancy Lad in particular really struggled on this in the last set, and unless he is sorted out whatever, because he is traditionally a good player for this sort of thing, but just did not have it in him for the hidden 1 last time. And it's such a strong map for Goofy. I can't hide it. It's a very strong map for this roster.
Yeah, it's really awkward aim. Really reminiscent of like Russian aim mapping. Evil Elvis type stuff. Deca does a very good job sort of mimicking that style and making these jumps uncomfortable for reasons it is impossible to put into words. It just feels wrong to play these types of jumps a lot of times. And the aim, it starts to breed a different type of skill from the player. It starts to force out a very different type of skill, which is that aim control. You add on the hidden to that, and you have a very, very difficult combination of skills and mods. Kriller, in particular, the star performer for Goofy on this map when we saw it in the first set. I want to take a look at his score and see if he can match it once again, because he got 775k on this. He is going to be on the roster once again for them. White Cat not too far behind at 650k, and really everybody on this team looking very good for Goofy on the last time they played this map. Notably, Rectagon subbing in for I'm a Fancy Lad. So again, no Taquito, and now no Fancy Damar. She kind of called it. Fancy has been having a very tough match. He has not been looking his usual self, not been looking like the star player, the USA OWC captain that we know he can be during this match. And that is another one of the reasons why Whispering Almond has been having so much trouble in this grand finals so far, converting on what could have been very easy points for them. Rectagon going to find an early miss, but not too much more than that. With this being AR 9.8, a lot of the difficulty comes from the jumps themselves rather than from the reading aspects that Hidden sometimes brings. So Rectagon going to feel more at home on a pick like this than on something like the Hidden 2 or Hidden 3, given that he's not traditionally a Hidden player.
And so far, a much better performance from everybody, not just the substitutes, but everybody is performing well so far. A single break, and there are some really good accuracies in here. I'm not going to get into which ones, because you know what happens when you do that sort of thing. You know,
I mean,
fate.
Everybody's above 99. Everyone is above 99.
That works, yeah.
Yeah. This is like incredibly tense. I'm afraid to say something about either of the teams right now because I don't want to. No, Kriller! Kriller finds the under aim. It looked like a miss there, right at the halfway point. That is a huge miss for Goofy, the star performer. 770k on Kriller during the first set, not going to be matching his score during the second set. The rest of the team is there to support for now with the three-way full combo, but there is still a three-way full combo going for Whispering Almond. There goes Utami, who will trade the miss over, and there is a ever so slight combo lead on the reverse choke for Rectagon compared to the three-way full combo for Goofy right now. Emmerich is going to slide a break right afterwards. It's Malish and Rectagon. Rectagon trades it. It's trades back and forth to March every single time we see the miss for one side. It's traded to the other. We'll see how long that keeps happening, though, because this is the kind of map where the nerves will start to get to you. This is a long map. It is 4 minutes long, I believe. Rectagon is going to find another break as well. 4 minutes and 30 seconds long on this map. So these nerves and the nerve control near the ending are going to start playing a role for a lot of these players. Malashevsky and Badu need to hold against White Cat and Zudinator to try and take a break point for Whispering Almond. There goes the score swap with the extra break coming through for Rectagon, but the combo lead is so minuscule at this point that any major misses from any of the big combos will immediately swing it one way or the other.
It is ridiculous. Utami will find a break. That is going to extend Goofy's lead if they hold on to this. But it all comes down to who breaks it. It's Badu. Badu is down. He finally trips up. He's been having such an amazing game. And now he opens the board up for Goofy, who just have absolute dominance right now with those two full combos. It's Zutinator. It's White Cat. They are on fire up against Malajewski. And there is nothing that Whispering Almond can do but watch. This is going to be a ridiculous team score. White Cat does drop, though.
There is still time for a comeback here. It is Zudinator versus Rectagon. Utami on unanswered. He and Badu both find the breaks, though. And at this point, we are at the end of the map. There is no more time for a comeback. There is no more combo to stage one with. And about 180,000 score in the lead. Zudinator will be able to just barely carry Goofy over the edge to that victory. A two-way full combo on this map. 1 million score for both Zudi and Malashevsky. 3 100s on the FC for Malashevsky on this map is absurd accuracy for him, but all for naught, as the overall team score for Goofy just that much better. 600k on both Kriller and Emrek, and namely 880k on White Cat, generating that score lead for Goofy. Looking at the members across the board, that is where that score lead is coming from. Of course, carried through to the end by Zudinator on the FC, but incredibly close map, incredibly close pick. I mean, it doesn't get much more exciting than that. You have exactly the same combos, exactly the same score to 3/4 of the way through the map. What more can you ask for in the Grand Finals bracket reset? These teams are insanely closely matched with each other.
Well, this is what the second set does. It completely changes everything. The picks, the bans, the strategy, the performances are so much higher in the second set to the first. And it's not even better nerve control. It's just both teams, they're feeling the nerves. They're struggling to pull it through. And yet it comes down to a single break and a single moment, and it just flips. And even when it all started to fall apart in the last third of that map, where you start to see more and more breaks, that was all nerve control, and somehow, some way, Goofy managed to edge that out. But that has been one of the closest maps so far. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, it really has been. This pick, this is interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. So this is going to be a very interesting map. This No Mod 4 pick from Whispering Almond is not a map that they won in the previous set. They lost this by 187k in the previous set, largely due to the fourth player. Majora is struggling on this map, but the top end scores looking very similar between the two teams. I'm a Fancy Lad performing very well on this map, actually, with 600k, despite having an overall bad match today. And Malashevsky with 680k to be that carry performer. So if Whispering Almond have a better fourth player, if they have a substitute for Majora, who was really the only player to struggle on this for them, then I think they have a very, very good shot at taking this point and surprising some people with a point on this No Mod 4. That said, Goofy, I mean, very, very good roster for them. Every single player above 500k when we saw them play this in the previous set. So this is not a map at all that either team is really favored on. This is one that we are going to see, I think, be very, very close between these two teams.
Yeah, it's setting up for a beautiful second section. I mean, just after the second ban wave, it's been so intense, and this map is gonna, if you're looking for a calm, relaxing map where one team is gonna, destroy the other, it's not gonna happen here. Not on this map. It's gonna be tense. If players cannot hold their combos, we are looking at incredibly close scores throughout this one. And these
boy! Oh, he's here!
My God, the 11th hour. Taquito appears from out of nowhere. He's ready to rock the boat on No Mod 4. Let's see what he can do.
We said they needed a replacement for Majora Demarche. Well, damn good replacement if I've ever seen one. Von Lecaon Taquito, one of the absolute best tech players in the world, potentially the best in North America as well, is here to hopefully make the difference in this No Mod 4 for Whispering Almond. He does find the slider break early on. Malashevsky now the only FC left up. Basically everybody dropping. Malashevsky, Kriller, and Enry the only ones to hold combo. But Whispering Almond still in the lead for score right now as we get into the second half of this map, this middle section with the cut stream. So difficult. Malashevsky finds the Drake. Kriller's going to match, but Enry is still holding right now. Poor Goofy manages to cheese the slider there in the middle of the screen and hold on to the combo as we get more of this really tricky slider aim before we get that last cut streamy section. Hits the slider stream, hits the cut at the end, And this full combo for Henry is just going off. But look at the overall team score, still in favor of Whispering Almond. You have Taquito on only a slider break right now, still building up big combo. Utami and Fancy Lad on massive recovered combos as well. So this FC from Henry has to do so much work if the breakpoint is to come through for Goofy. Whispering Almond right now putting up a huge case for best tech team, as we see so many consistently good scores from them on this map. Taquito breaks on that long slider though, and that is going to help the case for Goofy. More recovered combos from Emrek and Kriller to come through. Let's see if they're able to carry it through, particularly Henry, through into the ending. Taquito and Whitecat going to trade their breaks here, as Henry finds the miss too. No!
That's it. That's it. Fancy Lad and Malashevsky, they are gonna hold. They finally win this point against Goofy, but it wasn't easy. Incredible stuff. Fancy Lad finally gets a solid play on the board. That's what he's on this team for. That's what you know him for. Unbelievable stuff. He is back. What a map.
Boy, and if you're rooting for a close match, there's not much better you can hope for than in the 11th hour bracket reset, Taquito coming in and literally making the difference for Whispering Almond on that map. Yes, he bottoms for them, but he is potentially on 0 warm-up, right? So cut the guy a little slack there. And helping them win what in the last set was a lost point for them, a break point that they did lose. And, a lot of that coming from Fancy, some of that coming from lower overall team consistency on the side of Goofy during that one. 3 out of 4 members below 500k, where last time around they had everybody above 500k. But it's just so close both times now. Goofy actually performing worse this time around, going down about 250,000 score compared to their previous score on that no mod 4. And Whispering Almond going up about 80k compared to their previous score. So that overall score swap ends up making the difference for Whispering Almond. Just ridiculous stuff from them. Big shouts to Fancy Lad, again, on this map. He has had such a rough match overall. But as well, I want to shout out, because we haven't talked about it too much, Malashevsky and Utami have played literally every single map so far. They have played all 17 maps that we have seen. And I have a feeling they're about to play number 18 as well. Double Time 2 finally picked for Goofy. We thought this was going to be the second pick for them right after No Mod 5, but they saved it here for the second round of picks. Right after Hidden 1, it's going to be that Speed DT. 243 BPM, longer streams, and a bunch of finger control in this map as well. Very, very tricky stuff to work with.
I mean, I'm just thinking about this match, and I can't help but have the biggest grin across my face. You can't see it, but there is a massive grin across my face, because we are down to a best of 7 right now. Starting off with this DT2, everything is even. Best of 7 going forward. 4 maps to take it all. And it's all in the back of everybody's minds, but we could have a tiebreaker. 100%. Like, there is a very good possibility that it comes up. And who knows what's going to happen between now and the potential tiebreaker. Anything could happen.
Anything could happen. What else could happen to Marsh? We could complete the community challenge here in chat. Add $1,000 to the prize pool, chat. You know you can do it. Only 550,000 channel points left towards adding an extra $1,000 to that prize pool and giving your favorite players who have brought us an absolutely ridiculous grand finals across both this bracket reset and the first set some extra money for how well they have performed here in the last couple of matches of the tournament. Let's get into the next pick here for Goofy. Whitecat, Emrek, Sawada, and Henry in for this one. Utami, Rektigon, Malashevsky, and Majora in for Whispering Almond.
Yeah, Majuri with the first break, though. Actually, no, the second break, because Rectagon looked like he had a bit of issue as well going into this one. So, Whispering Almond down but not out to start this off. They will be looking to focus on recovery and maybe sweeping the carpet from underneath Goofy. But Majuri will find another break. That one is a bit more significant, with everyone else approaching 500 combo. Rectagon as well. But Whispering Almond, they're not the speed team in this scenario. And Goofy are showing what they can do in this first quarter. All hold so far.
I'm glad you mentioned first quarter, though, because this is a long match. I mean, this is no mod 5 level of high combo map here for this one. It's still 3.5 minutes after double time. 3.5 minutes of 8-star speed after DT. So you're going to have to hold for quite a while to accrue a meaningful score lead. And to that point, it's only a 200,000 score lead despite 2 early breaks, and 4-way full combo still going. Now closing in on halfway through for Goofy right now. We have to see them hold through this KI time, I think, if they want to win this point, not give over the first break point of the match. That is the turning point, is which team gives over that first break point. And it's looking good so far for Goofy on this map. Utami and Melishevsky, the 2-star players who have played literally every map in the grand finals, who will probably continue to play every map in this bracket reset, still holding the full combos for Whispering Almond, but everyone holding for Goofy. And at this point, a 400,000 score lead or so has been built up for Goofy. Melishevsky is going to find a slider break, and that is now 4 FCs to 1. What do you say to this, Demars? This is absolute dominance in the bracket reset from Goofy. Finally, excuse me, finally some breaks come through for Utami and Majora. White Cat and Emery will break as well, but Emrek and Sawada, identical ACK, 99.45%, double FC still held 3/4 of the way in.
Yeah, the players aren't the only one that's breaking. You are breaking as we speak.
I am literally dying. I didn't have time to get water during the break. I have no water. Help.
Send this man water. Donate to the prize pool. Send this man some water. But I'm reckon some water.
Is this double FC? Is this double FC right now?
Nah.
Are they going to do it?
Nah.
Are they going to do it?
Told you.
No, they're not.
Told you.
Is Emrek going to do it? Is he going to do it?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, he is.
I'll let him.
He's got it.
I'll let him.
We'll let him this time around. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
let him.
He's got it. He's got it this time around.
Unbelievable. Look at that team score.
Oh,
I can't get over that. 3.5 million on DT2.
Another FC from Emrek. Somebody get me an FC counter. Somebody get this man an FC counter. Because I swear, like, despite the fact that Melishevsky and Utami have been in for every single map, I feel like Emrek, since coming in, has actually FC'd more maps than either of them. I need the FC counter for this man, because he, say what you will about him not being here for a lot of the tournament so far. I mean, this is the first match that he's played, his grand finals, but he has showed up, man. He really has. He has showed up and played his part to carry them into this bracket reset and potentially win them the tournament. We'll see if that actually happens. But again, Goofy converting on their pick and keeping that potential breakpoint at bay longer once more, waiting on the next pick now from Whispering Almond.
Let's not forget that yesterday they got 1.6 million. 1.6 million yesterday on DT2. They have got 3 million team scores on this map?
I believe so. I gotta check there in the previous one, but I mean, they have just destroyed this. This has been ridiculous from them.
Yeah, they did.
Not much more to say. Yeah,
just
they're killing.
What happened yesterday? Who is this team? They are not how they played yesterday. They are like a level above that. It's crazy.
And one of the things that we talked about on Full Circle on the podcast on Friday before we got into the grand finals proper was, okay, Goofy had a great time coming back in winners finals because they felt the pressure leave them a bit. And one of the questions that we asked was, will they be able to deal with the pressure going into grand finals, going into losers grand finals? Because there's a lot of pressure. You're coming from the losers bracket. You have to win twice in grand finals. But look at the roster for this team. These are players who have more than enough experience dealing with that pressure, making sure that they are able to really easily keep up with what is demanded of them in a grand final setting and push through the nerves. And maybe playing that losers bracket grand finals was the match where they were the most nervous. That was the time for them to shake off the nerves and get ready for the match that really mattered to them, the match that determines the winner of the tournament. Because they, like you said, DeMarch, they look like an entirely different beast compared to yesterday. And I feel like some of it has to do with shaking off the some of it has to do with MREC being here, and some of it has to do with the confidence knowing that you beat the 7-2, you beat Whispering Almond 7-4 in the first set. You have your full roster. They're trying to recuperate, buy time for Taquito. So much goes into it, but the confidence and the poise that Goofy has had all throughout this match has been ridiculous. That said, Whispering Almond, I mean, you cannot discount this team, because as much as we have talked about how good Goofy have looked, Whispering Almond is 3-4 right now. They are picking free mod 3. They are confident themselves in what they are good at. They are the reading team. They are the gimmick team in this matchup, and they are going to continue to abuse those skill sets because that is what they have been good at aside from the speed all tournament long. This free mod 3 right up their alley, and they are going to continue to hopefully dominate on these types of reading and gimmick picks. They are such a ridiculously good team. There is a reason why this team was favored to win this matchup going into the weekend. There is a reason why nearly everybody predicted this team to win grand finals, no bracket reset, easily. They were the first seed out of qualifiers, and they should continue to put up fantastic scores throughout this match.
Yeah, and they have already such a fantastic start. You've got 3 members of Whispering Almond still holding FCs, 2 of the Nomads and Rectagon on the Hard Rock. I mean, already Goofy, they are struggling to pull this back up. But they do have some comment. It's starting to build back up with the break from Rectagon there, opening things up. Malajewski also had a break as well, so it is literally the Nomads that are carrying Whispering Almond at the moment. But they need to be able to hold on to it as Goofy is beginning to charge. Krilla will drop the SS, though, on a miss. And that is going to sting. Enry will also find a reset. Zootinator recovering. Rectagon struggling. White Cat, though, still holding on. Trying to chase Utami and Fancy Lad, but there's just nothing. Zooty breaks now as well. They just do not have the roster to fight them on this map.
Yeah, and this really is exactly what Whispering Almond would hope for. You saw in the first round of Grand Finals, Badu and Utami hold massive combo into the end. Utami hold almost the full combo into the ending. Fancy Lad replacing Badu, I think, is so good for this roster. Fancy Lad, also a very good reading player, but will not struggle at all with any of the streams. These are 200 BPM streams. These are not easy streams to deal with if you are stamina capped at all. I mean, this is a 7-star map, no mod. This is a mechanically difficult map on top of being a reading and precision pick, and you can see just how incredibly hard it is by the scores for Goofy right now. Everybody breaking here at the end, everybody dying, but Fancy Lad and Utami are going to close out the double full combo for Whispering Almond. 750k for Malashevsky as well. I mean, just ridiculous here.
What a response. I mean, to take that 3.5 million team score and say, here, have a 3.2 on Free Mod 3. I mean, that just shows the level that these players are at. It is incredible to see. It's almost a million ahead of Goofy. A million difference That is ridiculous. Even for a reading map in Grand Final, that's ridiculous.
I mean, that's been the story of this match, right? We just saw 980A on, and we were like, "Oh my god, look how ridiculously dominant Goofy is right now." But then you go to the next map, and it's Whispering Almond also winning by 990K. Like, both of these teams are so incredible at their particular skills that you get this type of trade between these two teams, and it becomes hard to overstate how good these players are at some maps, because when you see, you know, Sawada one slider break, Emrek full combo this DT2, you think, oh, it can't be that bad, until you realize that it's 3.5 minutes of literally 8-star 240 BPM speed patterns, right? It becomes hard to recognize how good exactly Utami and Fancy are on these low approach rate types of maps until you realize that not only is this AR 8.5, not only is it CS 5.2, not only are the patterns very awkward in this map, but it's also a 7-star mechanics map at the same time. Like, most players don't even play 7-star mechanics in tournaments. Most players don't even get to the stage where they play no mod 1s that hard. This free mod 3 is as hard as most players will ever play any no mod 1 in tournaments ever. So the fact that they're still able to full combo in spite of that is unreal. Unreal from these teams, just how good most of these players are. And this is what happens when you get international tournaments like this. You get the best of the best handpicked to win. And that is what is happening right now here. I don't think that's a Hard Rock 2 ban from Whispering Almond. We haven't talked about the bans yet. But I think we're probably going to see No Mod 2.
So I don't think it can be banned twice. Does that unban
yeah,
it?
Exactly.
Does that unban it, do you think, if you
does
banned it a second time? Maybe.
Does it? I don't know. Maybe it does. It does.
It doesn't say in the rules, so you never know.
Yeah, I don't know.
You never know. There it is. That's a what? Hang on.
That is also not the. I think we're having some difficulties here. It looks like the Hard Rock 1 ban is actually a real Hard Rock 1 ban. I can't tell. There's definitely some technical difficulties happening because the No Mod 1 Protect disappeared for Goofy, and we just see Hard Rock 1 ban in place of the No Mod 1 Protect where it would usually be. So I'm not sure if that is the real ban for Whispering Almond. I would be so confused if this is the real ban for them, though. I mean,
it is
the real ban. Wow, I'm so surprised. I mean, yes, the Protect, they won it in the last match. The Hard Rock 2 ban has already come out. They've already won Hard Rock 3 twice in a row. So I'm very surprised to see this Hard Rock 1 ban come out. Free Mod 2 ban, I'm not surprised to see, because that is something that Goofy just have not been into very much. During the last few rounds of the tournament, they have not been trying to win those Free Mod 2s at all. The finger control, rhythm hell style maps are just not up their alley. No Mod 2, though, this next pick I think makes so much sense given the speed bans and how the speed maps have gone so far.
Exactly, and I think we know the dangerous pairing that have been left open on Goofy for No Mod 2. White Cat and Emrek they love No Mod 2s in tournaments. They love to play them, and it's just the sort of map that you'd expect to see them pop off on, and that's probably why it's been picked.
Let's see it, man. Let's see it. 218 BPM streams in this map. Those were some fast streams. Nearly 220 BPM. About the same as such ridiculously hard, well-known, notorious maps like Freedom Dive and Yomiuri. That is the kind of BPM that you are dealing with on this map. What most players would consider speed is now the raw stamina extremes map for the No Mod pool. Let's get into this Really difficult
my
pick.
God.
Full mechanics pick, man.
Guess what, Dio?
And guess what?
We just hit it. The community challenge has been completed.
There we go.
Unbelievable. There's too much time. We've got. I swear we're about to go into the map. What's going on?
Oh, there we are. All right. We're in.
I don't know what to
Corsace
celebrate.
Slider immediately, right after we finish the community challenge.
So,
let's get it.
Yeah, let's do this. Rectagon finds a drop. Majori dropped just before that. But here we are. It's No Mod 2. Tell them what they're facing on this one, Dio.
218 BPM death streams. I mean, you're looking at it right now. If you don't have the stamina, if you don't have the speed for something like this, you are going to have a bad time if that's up on the weird corners, on the acceleration and deceleration. You're also going to chain miss. We see some drops from Majora and Rectagon on the side of Whispering Almond. Henry going to trade it for Goofy. But Utami and Malashevsky once again holding for Whispering Almond. This is Goofy's pick. It's Sawada, White Cat, and Emrek to hold on to the full combos for them and to hopefully consolidate this next point. Keep them in the tied game state and not give over that first break point. We've talked about it so much. These are the last two picks for either of these teams. It's been traded points back and forth over and over again. Consistently high scores for both of these teams. There goes Sawada, who does find a miss, but it is traded by Majora. Majora having a lot more trouble on this map than you would usually expect. That is where a lot of the scores are coming from. Emrek is also going to miss, though, and now this lead is not looking very good for Goofy. Utami and Malashevsky are holding. Henry's going to drop as well. This is suddenly disaster for Goofy. Is this going to be first breakpoint, Demarsh? We're halfway through. It's only White Cat against the double FC from Utami and Malashevsky, and big supporting combo from Rectagon despite the frequent misses from Majora.
I mean, it's halfway through. That's really going to hurt Emrek. And with the way the map is playing out, what? Hang on. Rectagon.
Alright, Rectagon has dropped as well. But again, unless we see the breaks come through for Utami or Malashevsky, basically right now we're going to need to see a double break for them later on in the map if they don't break soon. And this slower section really ending up favoring the team who already has combo advantage. Let's see if they're able to hold on to their combos going into the last quarter of the map now. It's White Cat versus the world at the moment. Good supporting combo on the rest of Goofy, but not enough to offset the double full combo that's being put up by Utami and Malashevsky. White Cat drops. That's probably going to be the point. Malashevsky does trade it. Utami is still holding the FC right now for Whispering Almond. Emrek is going to drop as well. There's still supporting combo. No, Utami's gone. Henry drops as well, though, right afterwards. Sawada only for Goofy, and if it were Henry and Sawada, I think we would definitely see it go over, but just Sawada, it's going to be close. It's going to rely on chain misses for Whispering Almond. There goes Malashevsky and Majora. Those chain misses come through. Sawada finds the side break. White Cat, Henry, and Emrek still holding the combo. Utami and Rectagon holding combo for Whispering Almond right now. Are they going to be able to hold into the ending? This point matters so much for the rest of this map. Majora going to find some more of those chain misses. Is the combo enough for Goofy to keep this point in their hands? Majora finds more chain misses for Whispering Almond. Sawada matches it. Henry and White Cat and Emrek, will they be enough? Or will it stay on the side of Whispering Almond at the end? Rectagon's high combo may just be enough to keep it on their side. Less than 20,000 score. But that is the first break point. The team favored to win it all from the very start. The team who lost the bracket reset will finally gain the decisive advantage they have not held since the winners finals. Whispering Almond up the breakpoint, the first breakpoint in the bracket reset.
Wow. So, where does that leave us? There are 3 maps left to go. This is what we expected. I think we can almost predict the next pick as well. Goofy have still got their protected pick from the very start of the match. But Whispering Almond are playing theirs now. It is hidden 2. Up next for Whispering Almond to put themselves on match point in the grand finals. Dio, what can we expect?
I'm expecting Whispering Almond to stomp on this again, is what I'm expecting. We saw Badu one miss reverse choke this for 990k. He was over half of his team's score the last time we saw this map. This is the Badu special. This is why he is on the team. And this is what you want to see if you are Whispering Almond up a breakpoint, is Badu going in and stomping once again. Because, well, the next highest score in the entire lobby was Enri at 530k. And then after that, everyone was below 400k. It was Badu almost FCing 990k, Enri at 500k, and then Malashevsky is the next highest at 300k, 370k. Like, there is basically no one else who can play this at the same level as Badu in this map pool, in this match, and I am just ready for him to show us once again why he is here in these grand finals matches. We do see Taquito, by the way, sub in for Bartek on this map. I think a fairly good sub for Whispering Almond, but if we see the same Badu kind of pop-off score that we saw in the first set, it's not going to matter. A couple early breaks for quite a few people. Fiery, Enri, Malashevsky, and Taquito all finding early breaks here. It's Badu Utami for Whispering Almond with the FCs, Kriller Emrek with the FCs for Goofy.
Yeah, Kriller really is going to have to hold strong here against such a strong team comp for this map. On the side of Whispering Almond, they are really going to be pushing hard. Enri actually struggling quite a bit with this map. And there goes Kriller. That is a big drop for Goofy with just Emrek on the charge to hold off Badu here. I mean, Malashevsky's got some good supporting combo, which is going to favor Whispering Almond at the moment, but that could all change. But at the moment, it is in the favor of Whispering Almond. 1/3 of the way through this map, and there's the logo.
This is just so tense for Goofy right now. Misses, three-way miss, Badu misses as well. Wait, this is huge. This is huge. Goofy can actually win this right now. Emrek is still holding the full combo. This is the guy who has not played a single map in the tournament until we saw Grand Finals start at 16 UTC over 2.5 hours ago at this point, and is now poised to carry this point for Goofy. Badu is unable to pull off the Badu special on the map that you expect him to do it on, and it is Enri and Emrek to hold on for Goofy right now. This is absolutely insane to Marsh. This map, this matchup just keeps on delivering, man. This is going to be breakpoint number 2 right after we saw the first one. Badu has recovered, but nobody else on Whispering Almond is having a good time with this one. Malashevsky drops. Kriller, Emrek, and Enri all drop as well. Badu has some combo, but the score difference is huge. It is 250k, and I don't think there's enough map left. I just don't think there's enough map left for Badu to claw this back. I think it's going to be close, and if we see a ton of chain misses for Goofy, it might go back over. But I think this is no mod 2 all over again.
I think they've got it. Yeah, it's done. They broke back on Hidden 2.
On the point on the map where Badu plus 2 other players would have been enough to win in the previous set, it is now going to be the win for Goofy. The breakpoint right afterwards, like you said, Demarche, they keep doing it. They keep trading their points, man. This match has been so close the entire day. 7-4 in the first set. Now 5-5 here. We're guaranteed the last picks for both of these teams at this point, and it becomes so scary because you have so few maps left up here. Let's take stock of the map pool at this point, because you have to think really carefully about what maps you want to pick if you are either of these teams. And I think the picks become very difficult for both of them. You've got No Mod 1, the Protect left up for Goofy. You have Nomad 3, the alt map, but that is 160 BPM, incredibly awkward, incredibly tricky alt. And I know that some of the alt players on Goofy are not fans of that map. And last but not least, you have the free mod 1 mapped by the host of Corsace himself, Vinxis, as the last pick left up in the pool, Crimson Emperor. Really speedy, focused aim free mod, awkward aim free mod, similar to the Hidden One in how it's, but a lot speedier, something that Badu may not feel super comfortable on if you are Whispering Almond wanting to put him in on a map like that. I think what we're going to see is the Nomad 1 for Goofy, the Protect used here right at the end, and then potentially the Nomad 3 for Whispering Almond, which would be really interesting if we do see that one come out. But it's going to be Nomad 1. It's going to be Nomad 1, latest featured artist in the game, Ailstorm here with Shipwrecked, mapped by Camo, Get Drunk or Die difficulty. This is relatively awkward, slider heavy, Axel decel stream heavy Nomad 1. This is not Baby's first aim map. This is something else entirely. Very, very tricky all throughout. Tons of really difficult streams and slider shapes throughout this map. And yes, it's an aim map, but it's something that you have to be incredibly comfortable on the mere 8-star aim to be able to deal with the rest of what is going on in this pick. It's going to be an interesting one.
Man. When we started this match, Nomad 1 was the first banned map, as far as I remember. The first map to get banned, and I was so gutted, because I was like, we're not going to see it. And now it is Goofy's final pick in grand finals to put them on a championship point. It's not even a match point. It is a championship point.
Tournament point for the winner of this map.
It's a championship to me, dear.
No, that comes after this. Circle Circuit Championship is after this map.
Oh, okay. All right. Fine. Fine. But still, I mean, Ailstorm is... There's nothing that quite brings the hype like a bit of Ailstorm to really set the scene of this match, and this whole event has just been incredible. And I have no idea how this is going to go.
Yeah.
There is no definitive answer that we can give.
I got nothing else left to say. Let's see it. Badu, Malashevsky, Utami, and Rekti trying to once more take a breakpoint off Goofy on the aim pick. Nomad 1, White Cat, Enri, Emrek, and Zudinator here to show them what for and keep their tournament hopes alive. You do not want to lose this last pick and give over tournament point and next pick to your opponent. Such an important map for Goofy on this one. An early break for Malashevsky, potentially getting rid of some of the nerves. Same for Rectagon here on Whispering Almond, as everybody else for Goofy continues to hold these FCs through the intro.
Yeah, and let's be honest, you have some of the best aim players in the game in this lobby right now, vying to be number one. Badu is going to find another, a miss, not another miss, but it's another miss for Whispering Almond. And it's just Utami holding the FC against 4. That's the situation right now. 3 against 3.
Good try to rush. You almost dropped the curse. You almost dropped it. It stays
almost.
It stays with you here to the end. Oh my god, 3 FCs still for Goofy. Through the first Ki time, they all make it through there. Henry, the only one to have dropped so far. It is good recovered combo, though, for Whispering Almond, to be clear. They are not that far behind in the matchup. Utami's still on the FC, with Malashevsky and Rectagon not too far behind there. Less than 200 combo off of an FC for Malashevsky. Utami and Malashevsky, again, I cannot praise enough, have played literally every map in the entire Grand Finals and bracket reset, which is just absurd how consistent these two players are. Really indicative of how good they have been throughout the entire year and how big of an asset they are to this Whispering Almond team to be in on every map and still putting up top scores on the majority of the maps that they play. Whitecat, Emrek, and Zudi, however, something to say for it here on the Nomad 1. We are over 2/3 of the way through to Marsh. Any misses at this point are massive. These combo drops as we get into the next Ki time could make or break the map for either team.
Yeah, my eyes are scanning non-stop to look for the breaks, and Malashevsky is the one to find it. Henry's going to find a break, not the big combo though. That is fine if you're Goofy, but it is not good if you're Whispering Almond. They are falling further and further behind, and it's looking dire, Dio. Looking dire.
It is looking dire for Whispering Almond. For Goofy, it is looking fantastic on this one. But you, Tommy Rectagon, still have very, very high combo right now. Emrek and Henry are going to miss, but Whitecat and Zudi will continue to hold. And my god, Demarsh, what is this team score from both of them? Still holding a high combo on 3 members for Whispering Almond. Whitecat and Zudi still on the FCs here for Goofy. This score lead is not very big, by the way. If we do see a drop from Whitecat or Zudi, I think this actually goes over to Whispering Almond, but there is very little map left for that to happen. And as we close right in on the ending to the last set of jumps, it's going to be Rectagon to find the miss, and Whitecat and Zudi to close out the FCs for Goofy. Utami as well, nearly making it happen on the FC himself, does find the full combo, but not enough support. 200k off the team score difference for Whispering Almond. And Goofy have forced tournament point 6-5 against Whispering Almond, who now have their own last pick and a grand total of 2 maps to choose between. It is either the Nomad 3, very, very aim control intensive alt map, reading intensive alt map with really ridiculous snap aim to flow transitions all throughout the map, or the 3mod 1 mapped by Vinxus himself. Speedy, awkward aim, very similar to what we saw in the Hidden 1. Regardless, you are getting an aim map as your last pick, and that is so scary for Whispering Almond. But you've seen this team already pop off on the Hard Rock 3, you've seen them pop off on the Nomad 4, and you have seen the aim control work out for them on those maps. My bet would go toward the Nomad 3 as the last pick for this team. Neither of these teams have even made mention of it so far. It's gone neither picked, nor banned, nor protected, all the way up to this last pick. Will we see it here? It was picked by Goofy in their matchup against The, and they demolished them on it. Over 800,000 score up. But these teams have been so good at ult for both of them throughout the entire tournament. When they matched up in winners finals, it was a 30,000 score difference between these two teams on that Nomad 3 from last weekend. I am so excited to see this last map between the two well, this last pick between the two teams. I don't want to jinx it and say last map.
It's a full board. It's a full board in Grand Finals. What more do you want? And it's Nomad 3. Crazy stuff. I can't wait. I actually cannot wait.
there is so much riding on this match. Not only do you have the entire tournament riding potentially this map for Whispering Almond, but for both of these teams, for Zudi in particular, I think she should be very invested in this. Whether or not she gets to participate in another invitational 1v1 right after this is completely dependent on her placement in Corsace. If she wins, she gets to participate, and if she loses, she is out of Circle Circuit. So this is actually huge for both of these teams. Whispering Almond looking to stay in the tournament and give themselves the chance at that tiebreaker, the chance at first place. Goofy praying with all their might for a break point to avoid that tiebreaker and win the Corsace Open.
Oh my god. So this is all it comes down to. I'm just in shock. When I woke up today, the one thing I didn't think I'd be saying is that we're in the bracket reset playing map number 12?
Map number 12, Demarsh. Map number 12 out of a potential 13. Chat, you all know what happens if Whispering Almond wins, right? You all know what happens. We get to see custom song number 3 and the only tiebreaker in the Grand Finals weekend if Whispering Almond makes it happen on this map. It's Whitecat, MREC, Kriller, and Fiery for Goofy to try to take the break point and close it out early. Early breaks, by the way, for MREC, Kriller, and Fiery on this one versus Badu, Malashevsky, Fancy, and Utami, all holding the FCs for Whispering Almond to start to force that tiebreaker and keep their tournament run alive. God, I'm so excited, Marsh. I love a match like this.
I love this is a match that comes along, nearly once every few years. This is such an incredible occasion, and a break from Utami is gonna slightly knock that lead of Whispering Almond, but they have still got plenty of wiggle room with the other 3 combos. Malazewski, Badu, and I'm a Fancy Lad still holding strong. You got Whitecat, who is combating them with his own FC. Kriller not far behind, and Fiery trying to bring up the rear, but there goes Kriller, there goes Badu. So that's another set of drops for both teams, but that definitely hurts Goofy more.
Yeah, you got the 2 high combos on Goofy. Whitecat on the FC choke up against the double FC. No FCs for Whispering. Malashevsky and Fancy both break right at the same time. It's only Fiery to trade it on the side of Goofy. Badu as well will break. It's traded by Kriller, but it's only Utami with any combo at all for Whispering Almond. MREC more than matching that. Whitecat still on the FC, the only FC left alive in the entire lobby. He goes as well. MREC versus Utami. These 2 1v1 players, the finalists of the round table earlier this year, the biggest LAN in OS history. Those 2 finalists are now once again facing off here in the Corsace Open as the only 2 remaining high combos for either of their respective teams. MREC hoping to close it out early, and Utami hoping to bring us to a tiebreaker. Which of these teams will come out on top? It's more misses for Fiery and Whitecat, but so much supporting combo for Utami on Whispering Almond.
Yeah, Utami, who is behind on combo, is holding on the supporting combo right now. We have just a little over a quarter of the map left with a break from Fiery Rage. That's not going to help Goofy or MREC at all. And Fancy's going to be dropping the support, so is Whitecat. It is literally going to come down to these supporting combos from Badu and Malajewski that help Utami over the line. And they are doing it. They are really, really pushing this to hold on to it. MREC is doing so much work, but it's just Kriller on the support. And if Kriller drops, it's over for sure. But there is still time for Goofy to take this. But there's MREC, it's over.
Demarsh, it's happening! It's happening! Badu and Malashevsky are gonna bring us over. They're gonna bring Whispering Almond to the end of the to the very last possible map that you can see played in any tournament in this game. Grand Finals bracket reset tiebreaker is here.
I have no words right now to explain what is going on. This is incredible. After 12 maps, we are 6 apiece. And that means only one thing, Dio. Say it again.
It is time for the very last map of the Corsace Open 2022. The Grand Finals bracket reset tiebreaker. King Atlantis, the custom song by Aoi, commissioned for this tournament, mapped by Scub Domino and LCFC. You've all been waiting for it. You saw the reveal video weekend, and it is time for it to get played in the single most impactful match of the tournament. I am so excited for this. And there's nothing else to say. I'm so excited. It's time for tiebreaker, man.
This is a match of the year. Without a doubt. A match of the year. Goofy coming from the losers bracket after losing to Whispering Almond once. They said not again. They won to earn the bracket reset, and now they are fighting to bring home the gold. Whispering Almond, the team that has dominated this entire tournament, have come up against their biggest challenge in this grand final. It comes down to a single map, a single play, and it could come from a single player that could decide this entire thing.
And again, not only is the tournament on the line for both of these teams, first place decided by a single map here in the tiebreaker, but Zudi's participation in Circle Circuit Championships is also decided by if Goofy wins, she's in, and if they lose, she is out. So this is extra impactful here at the end of it. Not only that, but the chat completed the community challenge and raised $1,000 extra for the prize pool. So not only do we have 2 tournaments on the line for Goofy, we also have extra money in the prize pool on, thanks to you all in chat watching live. Thank you all very much for watching in advance. Stick around afterwards to see the results and to see how Zudi fares later on in Circle Circuit. I think we're giving the teams just a little bit of a break to get ready for the very last match of the tournament. It is time, man. It is time. I am so excited to see how this tournament turns out, how this map turns out, and how these teams fare on it. Who even plays map for both of these teams? Surely Emrek Whitecat are in for Goofy. Surely Utami Malashevsky are in for Whispering Almond. Do you see Kriller in for Goofy? I think so. Is it Henry Zudinator? Who comes in Demarche for Goofy? Who comes in as the last 2 for Whispering Almond on this?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't even know if they've practiced this. To be honest, probably not. Let's be realistic. But here we go.
Big shout outs to Aoi, the custom song creator here, the artist of the Grand Finals tiebreaker, specifically for the Corsace Open 20. Shout outs to the mappers, Scub Domino and LCFC, for helping make it happen. Let's get into it. Whitecat, Emrek, Kriller, and Henry for Goofy. Utami Malashevsky, Fancy, and Rectagon in for Whispering Almond. A couple of early breaks for Whitecat and Emrek. A couple of early breaks for Utami and Malashevsky and Rectagon. Henry, Kriller, and Fancy holding on to the FCs. Henry going to find the drop as well. So many early breaks for so many people as only Kriller onto the combo for Goofy out of the intro. This map starts off hot and does not get any cooler. It is 8.4 stars on the new star rating and nearly 5 minutes of consistently difficult 8.5 star patterning in this map.
Yeah, it's nerve control mixed with unbelievable mechanical skill will pull you through this. And at the moment, Whispering Almond are struggling. They do not have a big combo yet. They are waiting to adjust to this map, but they need to get their act in gear because they are falling behind. Whitecat does find a break though. It gives them a bit of a relief to reset, but Kriller is a quarter of the way through. Off he goes. Look at him run.
He is going to keep going as well. Kriller is one of the single best players for maps like this. So good at these slightly lower BPM tech stream sorts of maps. You're getting into the alt section now. This map, like so many other Grand Finals tiebreakers, puts together so many different skill sets all into the same map. You have incredibly difficult fighter aim mixed with the aim control you find in the most difficult alt maps in the game, mixed with, at some points in this map, the speed and stamina of your late stage Nomad 2 and Nomad 5s, and only a very few select players can truly put together high combos on maps like this, combo through multiple different sections of the same map with those different skill sets involved. And Kriller is showing you a master class in how to do so right now. Still holding on to 1400 combo as everyone else finds frequent breaks. He finally finds the drop, but Emrek is there to back him up. The #1 player in the world who did not play any maps before this grand finals has once again shown up and done more than his fair share of heavy lifting during this grand finals and the bracket reset. Everyone has dropped at this point. It is Fancy with the high combo. He drops as well. Rectagon, the only combo alive right now for Whispering Almond, and that is not saying much. About 300 combo on Rectagon, matched pretty much by Kriller with the higher accuracy. This is a 300,000 score lead for Goofy, who are potentially about to defy the odds from this tournament and show us a first place finish over the tournament favorites.
They've still got a way to go. Rectagon could very much take advantages. That break from Kriller, huge for Rectagon. He's currently being kind of stopped by Whitecat and Emrak combined, but that does still quite favor Whispering Almond. If they can get their supporting combos back up to speed, they will be just fine, but they need to start doing it now if they want to make up this score difference. It's not impossible, but there's a quarter of the map left, and Malajewski not going to help the cause on this map. It's Rectagon to hold, and he is behind Whitecat and Emrak. To be honest, they are going to be able to hold him off for quite a long time. As long as they can both hold. They both hit that, but Rectagon doesn't.
And it's so close at the end of this to Marsh, but the four-way break, Almond may decide it here in the section of this map. Emrek and Whitecat hold on long enough to continue to accrue that score lead. It is 300,000 here near the end. It is everyone dropping the combos with nothing to take advantage for Whispering Almond. It is safe to call at this point, with only this last slider aim bursty intensive section left in the map. Goofy, Lil Jits will be your Corsace Open 2022 champions out of the Grand Finals bracket reset tiebreaker.
As we see the end, it is done. What a match. What a tournament. It is done.
What a match indeed. And that is just, it's just nuts from all of these players. I mean, this entire match was back and forth on a knife's edge. We had a grand total of 2 breakpoints in this bracket reset, and they came one right after the other throughout the entire match. It was so close for both of these teams. Throughout this whole tournament, it was so close between the two of them. They finally met up in that winners finals. It was a 7-5 win for Whispering Almond, a 7-4 win for Goofy in the first round of grand finals. And now, finally, to end off the tournament, only one of these teams can be the winner, and your champions for the Corsace Open 2022, 7-6, as close as it gets. Seed number 2 out of qualifiers, defying the odds. Goofy Little Jits.
Unbelievable. This is why I commentate tournament. This is why I watch tournaments. For stuff like this that you just don't see anywhere else on the world. Look at that board. 12 maps. Only 1 loss of map pick between 2 teams, and they happened in the same round of picks. There is nothing like what you have just witnessed anywhere else. That is just unbelievable. What a grand final. Best match of the year, by far. No question. Am I right, dear?
You're absolutely right. And that is the whole tournament. That is the Corsace Open 2022. Congratulations to the top 3 teams. 3rd place, the 2nd place, Whispering Almond in this matchup, and 1st place, Goofy Little Jits. Congratulations to all the teams. Thank you again to all of the staff for their hard work in this tournament. And we will see you all next year.